Kyle, you're talking about witchcraft. I had a bunch of Twitter friends link me weird ass subreddits to laugh at and make fun of, and one of the ones they linked me was witchcraft, and these people are ridiculous. There are 123,000 what I assume to be women who believe themselves to be witches on here. And one of the top posts that I linked was literally never wanted one, but I found this on a walk across a bridge in Georgia. And even my husband said, that's not a stick, that's a wand. Fits my hand perfectly somehow. And it's a photo of this bitch holding a stick.
She's Hermione. That's amazing. Look at that.
First of all, how do you not realize your husband's making fun of you? That's not a stick. That's a wand, Harry. Like, no, that's fucking ridiculous. And then they have like unironic posts here like, well, I finally did it. I was so upset with my ex that I cast my first hex. Yeah. And then people will respond and be like, this is a great power not to be trifled with, but I'm happy that you took down that abusive bastard. And it's like, you people are fucking retards.
Let me read this one. Cast my first real hex.
Yeah.
This is 16 hours ago, by the way. This is an active subreddit. Released all the things I held inside, everything I bound and held inside. Someone threatened to kill me in earnest, and I've spent the week afraid. So I said, fuck it. If not now, then when? He has sexually assaulted girls around me, and he is an old man that lives next door. Tried breaking into my room to hurt me. Now my candles won't stop flickering and spinning. My first earnest hex. Lights are flickering too. Maybe there's a rare case when a hex isn't wrong. This man smells of evil. His aura sickens me. And when I tried to ignore him, he entered my space and threatened me. We will see how this goes.
Gosh, dude.
And look, this serious comment with 114 upvotes says, hexing isn't any more wrong than any other type of magic.
Oh, hey, they're right.
Sometimes it's necessary for self-protection.
So I challenged the entire witchcraft subreddit to a battle of magic. And I ask someone out there on our team, we need to start the r/wizards. Warlocks. Yes, that's cooler. And wizards is probably taken. r/warlocks. And the whole theme of that subreddit is going to be mocking how women don't have a full understanding of the magic auras.
The magical arts.
That's what we need to do.
And you better be careful. You're going to get a lot of hexes on you. You're going to get a lot of hexes. I'm just saying, you know, if you don't believe in it or whatever, you might get.
He invited demons into his soul multiple times. I've borne witness to it.
And I fought them back.
Concrete slide with
how did you do that? With what magic did you do that?
It was literally a joke. Like, it was a couple of years ago. I was watching the Conjuring with my girlfriend.
Tell that to the Morning Star.
Yeah, to the Morning Star. And we were watching that, and my girlfriend believes in like demons and all that stuff, and I don't. And I thought it was funny, like, as we were watching it, to be like, Satan, come into my heart. Use me as your vessel. Use me as you will. Deliver your will to this earth using me. Like, saying that, like, something really, and like, I thought it was hilarious. And she was like, stop that. Don't ever.
Man, if you just had some Alka-Seltzers to like pop in your mouth.
Start seizing.
She goes, but then she goes a step too far and fucking plunges a knife into your chest.
Your mortal weapons are no match. Really, you know, I'm in the hospital later. I was just committing to the bit.
You know, then later this week, Taylor, if you trip and fall and you like accidentally hit your neck on a piece of glass that's sitting on the ground or something, you're gonna know what happened.
I was wrong about witchery.
You got hexed.
Yeah, but that was so many of them. They sent me. I went to r/gangstalking. And one,
what's that?
It ended up being more sad. Yeah, we talked about it on the show. I forgot about it. We talked about it on the show until I looked there again. It's basically people who have genuine mental illness.
Yeah,
saying like, "Hey, I was out at the supermarket today, and I saw a bunch of red cars. You know, they're always in red cars. And I was walking through the gluten-free aisle, and someone behind me said something that I said exactly just a couple weeks prior. And they're mocking me. They know that they're watching, and they still come after me.
They're conspiracy theorists?
No, they believe that there are huge groups of a government agency that are trailing them in a very clandestine way. And so they will say things like, and then it's just a feedback loop in this community. Like every once in a while, like a big post comes through of like, hey guys, please get yourself checked out for schizophrenia. This is not normal. There are not people following you. This is, you're losing your mind. There are videos
of it. There's the lady's like, I'm being gang stalked right now. Look at this. This is the, it's so funny. She's like, I see him here every day coming down this street. And you look and it's the mailman.
Yeah.
Oh no.
She approaches the mailman who's in that stupid fucking mail truck. Why do we still have those stupid fucking mail trucks? And she screams at him, stop following me. And he's like, the fuck is your problem?
What's wrong with mail trucks?
This is insane.
They've been driving the same trucks since like 1950.
I feel like the mail is one of the more frugal government organizations I can think of.
Well, they're going out of business right now.
The cheapest way to like run the mail cannot be to maintain a fleet of 1950s mail vans.
I feel like that's frugality.
If Jeff Bezos thought that was the way to go, he'd have a bunch of those bitches riding around. Instead, he got big ass vans that say Amazon in the back. There's a whole conspiracy behind why they're in those vans. Let me look this up.
Kyle, you're getting gang stalked, aren't you? You're getting gang stalked by the mail. I knew it. This is I'm reading the How to Protect Yourself from Gang Stalking thread. That's at the top of the gang stalking subreddit, and it's in bold, the enemy is a coward. The enemy is a deceiver. The enemy is diabolical. The enemy is the corrupt. This is insane.
Psychiatry is an apparatus of abuse.
I feel really bad. I feel really bad for them, actually, because
it's a genuine mental illness, like some sort of paranoid psychosis. And so
I'm just happy there are people on Earth that are that funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Those are good videos on YouTube. Anybody who hasn't watched, where like they'll sit. That was one where the guy's pointing around. Look at all these red cars. It's it's just a red car. Why are you parked next to so many red cars? He's like pointing at some like old lady. He's like, yeah, you think I don't know who you are? You think I don't know? And then like gets out of the car, walks over. What are you doing, ma'am? Oh, just shopping? Just shopping? I please, I'm just trying to put my groceries in. Yeah, in your red Subaru, huh? Like that kind of nonsense.
What a bummer.
Yeah, that part's kind of sad. Witchcraft, I was having more fun making fun of. This got 1,400 upvotes on the witchcraft subreddit. My sister, 9 years old, is already a powerful witch. She saw me studying for a very difficult calculus test. And when I said it would be tough, she gave me her lucky pencil and told me to use it on the test and I'd do well. I thought it was so cute. I used it through the whole test, except for the last two questions. It has an enormous watermelon-shaped eraser on the back that made it cumbersome to work with. So I got my test back, and those were the only two questions I lost points on. Fast forward, I was helping her clean her room and came across a book of spells, including one for enchanting her pencil. Incredible. And people are supporting this. There's something about amazing kids and their intuition. This is so cool. Keep encouraging her. She's going to go far.
What was the grade?
What's that?
What was the grade? I want to know what the grade was on that test, because she didn't even say. She just said I did well, right?
Yeah, probably still shitty. Probably not good.
Yeah,
it wasn't magic enough of a pencil.
She would have said like a 98% or something.
Right?
Yeah.
She could have had
It was a
questions.
3-question test, and I only got the last two wrong. Fucking idiot. I once did a spell when I was 7 out of spite on a tire, and that tire later ran over some nails. Children are powerful, and they don't even know it. I made a love potion out of all the good smelling soaps and stuff in my bathroom when I was a kid. I used it on myself as a test, and damn, I genuinely liked the person I saw in the mirror. Too bad I don't remember what was in it. Yeah, it was probably fucking a bath bomb and some warm vanilla sugar.
Man, did I get a rash? None of them are like that.
It was a hex the whole time.
None of them are failures. People, that's what's interesting. Nobody's spells are going awry or just not working. It's just
That happened all the time in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It was Willow was fucking shit up left
She
and
was
right.
constantly fucking spells up like all the time. And I feel like that's what you do if you're a witch.
Nobody on this forum is going, man, it sucks because I had such an interest in witchcraft and I don't have the gift.
I had such a hard time buying Xander as the nerdy doofus, though. Dude's like 6'4" and handsome, and he's supposed to be the nerd of the group.
He got too big and also abused his girlfriend in real life. And he definitely was not a nerd. And
I bet he could handle her easily. Big boy. He's a big dude. He's a big guy. Towered over everyone else.
And a little message to the listeners out there. If you're going to be silly on Reddit with the forums we talk about, you got to be tactful. You got to keep it going, because the r/telekinesis top rated post is still this one about a connection between physical traits and mental ability. And do you think there's any connection between the size of someone's skull and their ability to perform telekinesis? My Uncle Taylor has a way above average skull, both in thickness and girth, and he tells me he's able to move Cheez-Its. Is this crazy, or is there maybe a connection? 77 upvotes on their subreddit. Talking about me moving Cheez-Its with my dumbass giant head.
That's an example of a
shout out to you, Max Lamb.
Orchestrated troll post. Okay,
yeah,
it wasn't over the top. It wasn't ridiculous, and it's referential. He's got 2 different references in there, right? Taylor's love of Cheez-Its and his big ass head. All right, that is a 9.9 out of 10 judges' scorecards. That was excellent.
Go do what Max did. Make it funny, but believable enough that these people, fall for it.
Tell them about a hex that you put on someone that made them an alcoholic, or tell them about something like that. like talk about some magic that you did. Come up with a nice referential hex.
One of you get in there and say, I had no idea how powerful I was in 2016. At the time, I was a Hillary person, and so I used a hex on the DNC to screw Bernie over. And to this day, I regret it. Is there any way I can reverse this wizardry? Something like that. Yeah, that shit. Oh, there's so many possibilities.
Or maybe a love potion that like.
I was I always go around and ask our listeners for dumbass subreddits and communities that are fun to make fun of.
Okay.
And I meant to talk about this last week. I should have popped back in and read more stories. There's one that is called r/telekinesis. And they are people who share tips and tricks and tactics for moving things with their mind and success stories about it, about times that they have moved stuff with their mind. And every time it is, first of all, none of this is real.
What? Whoa. Perhaps you're not aware. I just wished and prayed that Hurricane Dorian didn't hit Florida. Have you been watching?
Yeah, but you didn't use neural powers. You used, and these are the same people in this subreddit who are on Twitter. These are the absolute same people on this subreddit who on Twitter are being like, dumbass Christians sending hopes and prayers.
Those people are right.
Fucking idiots. Now I'm gonna move a solo cup with my mind. And it's and then I was reading through and I came across one that seemed like he was trolling, but everybody responded so positively that I was like, God damn, people are really buying into this. Because most of the time it would be someone takes a piece of paper and has it folded up and puts it on the top of a standing pin or something, and then they go and it moves and then they're blown away. But one guy was like, guys, I just had the most powerful telekinetic experience of my life and I've got to share it with somebody. I've moved cups. I can move small objects with my mind in close proximity, but I was feeling powerful. I was feeling strong this morning. I had energy in me. And so I closed my eyes and I stood in the middle of my kitchen and I focused. Everything inside me focused. I've never felt that way before in my life. My hands were clenched harder than they ever had before. My knuckles white with power. And I start to hear a rattling. I start to hear rattling around me. I open my eyes slightly. My Keurig's floating an inch over my countertop. I look to the side. The K-cups are doing a pattern, are doing a swirl there right next to it. The chairs and the kitchen table, they're not lifting because that's too much, but they're wobbling. And then I feel it. I feel it, and I look down, and I'm off the ground. And it was like
The key to my powers, people, is a little LSD beforehand.
And all of the comments are like, damn, dude, are your DMs open so I can ask for tips and tricks for how I could make my Keurig float and stuff like that? And it's like,
please tell me you posted to this subreddit. You should do it as an experiment.
Oh, well, now that's going to happen because our listenership is way fucking bigger than this community of telekinetics.
Oh, they can seed it with positivity.
Yeah, and if you guys you telekinesis fucks, my mind shield is too powerful for you. You couldn't break into this steel trap if you tried. As a matter of fact, a counteroffensive will be launched on any who attempt it. Just I'll hurl Keurigs at you, but not with mind power, with fists and whatever.
Mind fists.
Mind fists. Yeah, mind fists.
Start hitting yourself. You'll beat yourself to shit if you try to mess with my mind. Immediate buy-in is the most frustrating part of the rampant superpowers that are going around in these communities. At Burning Man last week in a weird positivity seminar, they're going around asking people what's their biggest hurdle in their life, and you get people saying like, oh, I can't stop sucking cock, oh, I do a lot of drugs, oh, I want to see my kid. Guy steps up to the plate and lets this one out. I can see the future.
Oh,
get stopped.
Everyone in unison. Oh wow, really? Like, oh wow, really? What do you mean? Oh wow, really? Where does this immediate buy-in come from?
Harley last week could do that. Our guest from last week could see the future. But
really?
What he could actually do is tell what young Jewish girls were going to be like when they grew up. Which was fucking hilarious because he's Jewish and he's like, I understand this culture. So I see one that's like a little bossy telling her friends what to do. He's like, I got her pegged. It's kind of funny now, but I know what a grown-up version of her looks like. And there he could tell the future, but only with young Jewish girls.
Dude, that guy's even dumber if he can see the future because who's going to waste time at a self-help convention if you already know it's going to be said?
Yeah. A lot of questions.
Go make money. Are you rich? No? Okay. My doubts are sated. Yeah.
No, he predicted that someone in his camp was going to have a heart attack.
Aren't there like tens of thousands of people there?
Yeah. I don't know. Taylor, where you even started? This line of questioning is not going to go where you think it's going to go. Does he have baby aspirin? I don't know. Don't care. Doesn't matter.
Wait, give me a visual. What do you look like? How old? Like, do you have like dreadlocks or anything dumb?
Not as freaky as you think, which is the sad part of it, that there is so much supernatural ability not being harnessed in this country that's just sitting out there being wasted on Reddit. Guys making their Keurigs float around when they could be using their powers to lower my hairline.
Yeah. You guys ever daydream about having powers and like I used to have this thing, like if I could stop time, how would I use this? And my dumbass idea was to be the most successful NHL goalie in history. Like I'm planning it out. Like, could I get away with this? Like, just move an inch or two. You know, what would the cameras see? Would they think I was lightning fast, or would they tell that I was moving while time was stopped?
All you'd have to do is, I've thought about this too because I played goalie. I played ice hockey goalie for my entire life growing up, and so like I always thought like I just have to be able to slow it down. Like if I could make 100-mile-per-hour slap shot, 65-mile-an-hour slap shot.
Why are you stopping there?
Because you still want it to look like natural. Like,
okay.
He's got a whole night to do. He doesn't want to be there all day.
Yeah, these games are going to take forever in my mind if I'm doing that. And then I know that I'm too arrogant. Like they'd be like, honestly, he's gone a 12-game shutout streak. Someone's got to score against him eventually. And in my head, I'd be like, you got to let one in at some point. But then in the moment, it'd be like, nah.
Let's run up the record a little bit. I don't know, Taylor. Like I think my slap shot might be 65 miles an hour, and it goes in sometimes.
Yeah, but like if you're mapping the trajectory and or if it seems like it's going a little too quick and I'm not ready for it, slow down time a little more.
Yeah,
you know,
take it down to 30.
So you guys would use your time stopping to become NHL goalies? What if you do? Faced off one day.
I would also, I say this every time, I would rob every bank I could find because that would just be fun to rob banks as a time stopping guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and pants public figures on TV.
That's a good one.
I would do the endless orgasm. I think I would just hop up while Nancy Pelosi was giving an address or something, and I would beat off and come on her, and then wait 15 minutes and beat off and come on. So for the newscast, it would just be an endless stream of right in the face. Oh,
I've heard this, but
oh no, you know the 4chan, the story where it's like he's like, if I could stop time, I'd beat off and then keep it stopped, beat off again, and because it would take me eons to do this, as I unpause time, they would see gallons of cum erupting onto the person, but they'd also see my hair quickly turning gray, then white, then falling out, and my skin aging in 100 years in a moment, and then before disintegrating to dust. And it was like, oh, 4chan used to be funny back in the day. All right, it might still be. I don't go there anymore.
It got invaded by feds.
Is that real? Like lots of
dude.
Oh, I did see that. I saw the 8chan thing.
In their whatever they submitted, like they submitted some kind of evidence, a lawsuit. The feds posted their screenshot and the brackets where it says you, where people are replying to you, they left them in. It's like, oh well, you guys are in there posting up a storm, huh?
What was the other one where we made fun of that subreddit about telekinesis? Where people were like, I've been focusing and now I can move an empty can. And then I went back to that subreddit like a week or two randomly after we talked about it on the show. Swamped our listeners just making a mockery of telekinesis. And I guarantee that's going to happen again with semen retention. I hadn't come in 3 days and I got out of bed and I didn't feel the soft carpet I usually feel. And I looked down, and I was levitating.
I thought the carpet was going to be crusty. That's where I thought you were going.
I mean, you can just offer a very simple challenge. You can just, if you, what do you need? 3, 5? What do you want for a cited evidence to support their theory of powers from not ejaculating?
I need to at least see a video of them
levitating. You want to see? You don't want to ask for that.
No, joking. I don't know. There's no evidence.
I think you're a bigger personality on the internet than I am, but I'm pretty sure you still don't want to ask for that.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't. Yeah, it's there's no way to prove that. The only way would be to see their actual magic skills, and there's no way for someone to prove that they can see into a higher plane of consciousness. What the fuck does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything. That's why they're saying it.
Psychic shit, right?
I don't know what the fuck that means. It's just nonsense.
24 days in a row or something of meditating right now. Tried that out.
Yeah,
really?
How you feeling?
Haven't found any higher planes yet. Keep hoping.
Damn it. Are you feeling spiritual? Are 9 out of 10 dime pieces coming up to you on the street?
9 out of 10? No, 10 out of 10.
Can I do that? Have we done the beans and the girlfriend story?
We haven't. With bated breath, I await.
Yes,
I promise you. Beans. I think it's gonna exceed your expectations.
Okay, no, I don't have low expectations. I'm very.
Oh well,
curious.
I take it back then. Now it won't. All right, so here it is. Today I fucked up by demanding that my girlfriend show me where she buried the beans in the woods. All right.
Oh, God.
I admit I posted a version of this relationship in the relationship subreddit the other day, but they closed it with no explanation. Yada yada yada. With all that going on, all right, I'm sorry, let me start over. I assume because they decided it was fake. I can see how they might think that, but this is true. This is a thing that happened and is happening, and now there's more to it. I actually got broken up with it. With all that going on,
I know I'm interrupting this on purpose. Every time someone starts a story that way, that's how I know it's true.
Yes, with all that going on, we had stocked up on supplies, including some canned goods. I ordered a few weeks ago and 30 cans of beans. 10 black beans, 10 kidney beans, and 10 are pink beans. I also ordered 15 cans of chickpeas. I thought this would be a reasonable amount of beans and chickpeas to have every now and then. It would last for some time. This is 3 months ago. He's coronavirus stocking up.
Okay.
However, earlier this week, I opened the cabinet because I wanted to make a vegetarian chili using 2 cans of beans. All of the beans were gone. What the hell? So I asked my girlfriend, and she told me she buried all of the beans in the woods. At first, I thought she was joking, but she explained no. She had buried these beans in the woods. What the fuck? I asked her to explain, and she told me that she was afraid that if things get bad, we might have to worry about looters or whatever, and that the beans would be in danger of being stolen. I thought that was completely ridiculous and unlikely, and she got angry at me and said she's protecting our beans. According to her logic, the beans are safely buried in the woods behind our apartment complex, and if we ever need to get some beans, we'll go to the stash, dig up a can or two, but I'd prefer it if we could save them, just in case things get worse. I said, why only bury the beans? Why not bury our more valuable items? She said the canned food was our most valuable item for long-term means, and that since we have fresh food and online grocery deliveries, it would make sense to continue to stockpile more beans. She intends to go bury more beans in the woods every week. This was too insane for me, and I got really upset. I demanded that we go to where the beans are buried, and she refused to tell me. She said that if I knew, she was afraid I would dig up the beans. And I said, damn right I would dig up the beans. And she said, I will never jeopardize the beans. So the following day, I tried to put my foot down. I'm not usually a foot downer, but there are rare issues where compromise is out of the question, and I foolishly decided that this was one of those issues. I demanded to know where the beans were buried, and I told her that if she was going to bury the beans I paid for in the woods, that I would move out. We fought about it, and I kept insisting. In hindsight, I should have just let it go and created my own hidden stash of beans in the apartment and given her time to cool down about this bean buying scenario. But I blew it all out of proportion. And it's weird to bury the beans in the woods, but why do I have to press it? What's the harm at the end of the day? In the grand scheme of things, but I kept demanding her to take me to the beans, or at least draw a map or something.
Take me to the beans.
Finally, she broke up with me over the beans. I've lost the love of my life because I couldn't let the damn beans go. I am in disbelief. She has moved out. Now, I am not only heartbroken, but I'm now paying full rent instead of 50%, which is a huge financial issue.
Beans.
Too long, didn't read. I kept demanding that my girlfriend showed me where she buried the beans in the woods, and she got so angry at me, she ended our relationship and moved out. My heart is shattered, and my finances are jeopardized because of a bean hoard.
No. Fuck that bean whore. Fuck that bean burying bitch. All right? This is nonsense. Women have no concept of what fucking society falling apart is. There's gonna be so much rape. It always comes back to rape. Those beans are not gonna be what they're looking for. You're gonna wish that you had left the beans in the house.
They're gonna be looking for your bean.
Yeah, they're gonna be. So you're gonna wish that there were more beans in the house so they'd have something to do other than rape
something
you
else
more.
To flick.
That's what they're going to be flicking is your beans, bitch. And your husband's going to be dead in the gutter with an empty stomach because you buried the beans.
And you know what she definitely didn't do? She definitely didn't bury the beans in the correct way. She definitely just threw cans of beans in the ground and threw dirt on top of it. And it's like, bitch, those beans are going to be ruined so fast that dirt's going to eat right through them. Come on. Be smart.
6 months.
Be smart when you bury your beans.
Those beans were already ruined if this was the beginning of quarantine. Already ruined. The labels have peeled right off. You don't know what kind of beans you're getting.
Dude, if I came home one day, any day, and my girlfriend had hidden a huge amount of food in the woods, that would be an immediate problem. It wouldn't be we're going to see how this plays out. It would be what the fuck are you doing burying beans in the woods, you retard?
We go back to
what?
To Kyle's complaint that you won't know what beans they are in case you're making your post-apocalyptic chili. And
he's unearthing a can and he's like, is this it? No. It's already full up on Pinto. Fuck.
There's a follow-up to this story. There's a subreddit that I had never heard of called R Metal Detecting, where they got all enthusiastic and they're like, dude, I'll help you find those beans. No, I'll help you find these beans. And these metal detector enthusiasts offered to help him find his beans, which I think is great.
I need an update. Did they find the goddamn beans?
I don't know.
How many maybe I missed it because as the story got better and better, I was like, wait, what? I really got tuned in.
30 cans of beans.
Holy shit!
45 cans if you include the chickpeas.
That's so many beans.
I don't know. How big is a can of beans? I'm picturing like tuna fish.
Dude, this bitch can go fuck herself.
No,
that's so many beans
like,
to go
a can
hide.
of beans is this big. You know, it's like a soda can.
Okay.
Yeah, but 49 of those?
45.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is 40 or 50 cans of beans is a huge amount of beans.
Of course. And she stole them for herself.
Look, I'm so
Weirdest
petty.
thing.
I'm so petty, and I get so
You want it for
frustrated.
yourself? Bilbo Baggins.
I'll tell you what I would have done, and I'm not even kidding. I would have called the law. I would have called the fucking police, and I would have told them, first I get some evidence, right? I text message her, hey, about those beans that you took out of the cabinet and hid. I paid for those. Can we at least both agree upon that? She's like, well, yeah, you paid for them. Okay. I feel like I should know where they are. Will you tell me right now where the beans are? No,
You're
I
setting
can't
up a
do that.
bean sting.
I'm setting her up. I'm setting her up. This is a bean sting. All right. Then I call Johnny Law. All right. And when he shows up, I show him the text messages from the bean bandit. And one of two things is going to happen. Either she's going to lead us to the burial site of said beans, or she's going to jail.
Or third option, the cops will laugh at you and possibly shoot you for doing that.
I'm white. Okay.
Just laugh.
But what if they also had a loved one steal their beans? You haven't considered that.
Oh, they could be being sympathetic.
We've seen this before, sir.
I've called the
Just
cops.
step
I called
outside.
the cops
We'll take it from here.
when shit was stolen off my porch and I had the person's face on video. I called the cops and they were like, "We don't care. Not gonna 45 cans of beans. I don't give a fuck."
I mean, that's a very cheap thing, but think about the future.
Oh, yeah,
What I was
beans.
thinking that you were going to say, Woody, is that this chick was going to try and plant cooked beans
That's funny too.
in the woods, and that would have been
Still in the can.
infuriating.
Like the whole can? Like she's not even bothering to open the
Just
can.
whole cans.
No, she's just putting the can in the ground, thinking a whole, like a tree
Life
that's
finds
gonna,
a way, and then cans of beans
cans
come
of
off the
beans
trees.
hanging, and
Kyle,
just reach up
Kyle,
and
the
pluck
thing
them off
is-
like apples.
If you open up the can and you plant it, you get beans. But if you plant the entire can, you get a canned tree. So it's much more
An
efficient.
enormous can comes out of the ground.
An enormous can with can branches that then later have cans of beans coming down from them.
Science.
So it's
Alright.
actually much smarter.
Yeah, Kyle, what are you,
Yeah,
science tonight?
I hate that woman. I hate anyone that's that stupid, regardless of their sex. And he's better off because look, if she was planting beans today, God knows what she's gonna be doing in a few years. One of the dumbest things my mom ever did, and we almost left her right then. I'm kidding. But I remember when 9/11 happened, she put a bunch of gallons of water in the basement. And I was down there, like that's where Dad and I's like reloading bench was, where we reloaded ammunition and did that stuff. And I noticed there was like 8 gallons of water over, under the stairs that lead down to the basement. And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I don't know. That's weird, huh?" I was like, "We get wake upstairs, Mom. There's a bunch of gallons of water downstairs. What's that about?" She's like, "In case the terrorist attack." And I'm like, describe
Well,
this
8 gallons ought to do us through. Yeah.
I'm like, describe this hypothetical attack. And keep in mind, I'm 18 at the time? No, I'm like 16 at the time. I'm like, describe this hypothetical attack in which we really need 8 gallons of water to survive. Well, I guess they attacked the tiny town of Livonia, Georgia, and population 8,000.
First the chicken farms, No, first the Twin Towers, then the chicken farms.
Then the chicken farms. You know, they're coming
First
right for us.
Livonia, Georgia, then New York.
And I was like, okay. Well, let's just say that happens. That they organize, that they hijack more planes and crash more jetliners into our small town. How does that mean? How does that take our water away that we already have? She's like, well, I was like, because we have a well. You know this. We have a well
In a generator.
With enormous amounts
Crash
of water.
into the well.
How many beans had she purchased?
She said, maybe the water gets poisoned. And I'm like, well, they're poisoning wells now? Because they're really bringing it to the little guy. if they're just like stumbling around in the scariest place in the world for a man in a fucking turban, by the way, the deep south of the United States, walking through the woods, I guess, looking for rural areas that live on wells and then poisoning the wells one at a time with, I don't know, a bucket of battery acid. Like,
no, listen, Ahmed, it is so retarded they will never suspect.
I felt retarded
It
with
is
my
the
own
worst
plan.
tactical plan. They will never defend against the worst possible option. We will attack Georgia towns of population. I don't know what accent it is now, but it's clearly something different. But we will go after Georgia towns of population 10,000 or lower.
Tell me if I over.
We will steal their beans.
In fairness, if they did that, people would be fucking terrified. Like, if you're trying to scare a population, you go after a small town, because every small town will think that they're next.
Whatever happened to that arsenic or cyanide post office scare? Did they catch him? That guy just get away with that?
When was this that you're talking about?
Right after 9/11. The next thing that happened.
That was anthrax. And yeah, they caught that guy. I want to say that guy was an Elvis impersonator.
Are you serious?
I want to know more about this.
See if I'm right. Here's your Google search. Here's your Google search. Elvis impersonator, anthrax, 9/11.
Hey, baby, I'm just trying to fucking murder someone at the post office.
He had a manifesto. It said, I'm doing this, 1, for the money, 2, for the show.
3 to get ready.
With me on this?
No, I get it. I'm there with you, Steve.
Go.
God damn it. That was way better than you gave it credit for.
I tried to help you out. It was way better.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So after the first earthquake that I went through with my ex in LA, and she had never been through one before, so she kind of freaked out, and she wanted us to have like an earthquake survival kit with us, like one at home and one in the car. And basically, standard stuff of like, matches, a can opener, like just a couple things like that. Even that, I thought, this is a little much. She had buried beans over. Divorce. And we weren't dating. We were married. Divorced right then. She had buried 45 cans of beans, because that is such a detachment from reality. I get that every one of us was very scared the society was going to break down at the beginning of this virus. And people were, when you get to the grocery store and there's nothing on the shelves, that's a very scary thing to see. And I get that. The idea of if you're in it a couple of weeks and they've restocked by then, and you can suddenly order all the cans of beans you want on Amazon, that's when you maybe go get the shovel.
Yeah.
And unbury the beans.
Unearth
and be like,
your beans.
I overreacted.
Look, you don't ever bury the beans, because you've got
You know what I guarantee is I guarantee that bitch forgot where she buried all the beans.
I think maybe
She did not make a map. 0%. So I've got this actually plays into something you didn't consider, Filthy, about the trans thing, and that is the incredible power of semen retention.
Don't know about this.
Now, see, I'll tweet out for funny Reddits, and every so often you guys message me with a real banger. And this is like, so no fap is like just trying not to masturbate, my understanding. Just I beat off too much. I got to cut it down. These people are like no fap, but they are writing huge, just pages of info about how they feel that they're gaining like superpowers because they're not coming. Like literally they'll be like, and I'm walking around with a kind of Titan energy I've never felt before. And women that before would never give me the time of day, they're coming up to me. They're coming up to me. I had to tell a woman there was one I was reading. I was getting really into this retardation the other night, and I was reading it, and this guy was like, yeah, and I hadn't come for 6 weeks doing semen retention. My skin got better. I felt stronger. God, I'm so horny. But he didn't even say that. I added that. He's taking it too seriously. And he's like, and this dime piece that never would have looked at me. She came up to me at the bar. She started talking. That's his word. Came up to me at the bar. We started chatting, and she wants to come back to my place. And in my head, I'm thinking, am I going to waste my load on her? And so I tell her exactly what I'm doing with semen retention. And I see her eyes go wide with wonder. And I'm like, no, it's not wonder. It is terrified eyes. You're looking into a scared woman's eyes right now.
Not even terrified. Relieved. She is ecstatic. She's like, he told me now. Thank fuck. I don't have to go anywhere near him. We're done.
No.
We can walk away. End it at the bar.
There's a solution for all this. You explained this, bitch. Listen, I practice semen retention. I will fuck you, but I drink it. That shit doesn't leave the system. It's how you keep your power.
Yeah, he's down it again. Yeah, I drink cum for my health.
My own.
Yeah, here's the beginning of one of their posts. This is an unironic subreddit.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Did you ever wonder when you read? Sometimes I read a subreddit. I'm like, is this a joke? It's hard to tell sometimes. Okay, this is
a real one, and this is 1/15 of this guy's post.
There are 15,878 readers according to this.
Yeah, and 234 users are here now.
Yeah.
Sperm creates life. That which creates life gives you life. I'm reading it the way he writes it. If held, it summons the spirit that enters the body. Man provides the spirit, life from the heavens. Women provide the vessel, body, the material. A female's best interest is to seek the most powerful, potent sperm or spirit. It has been my personal experience. They have an intuitive way of sniffing us out. Quality sperm is like honey, heroin, and cocaine mixed together, an aphrodisiac. Their biological body is designed by God to respond near instantly to such a man with the best quality sperm. Their lineage depends on it. Logic must demand when you hold your sperm, your life, those around you will feel your life. The smell oozes from the pores in your skin. Energy radiates from within outwardly. It's a sexual aura that sends out a bat signal to women that screams, I'm virile! And man, do they come chasing. There's a lot more of this. The quality of life sperm that inhabits the body and determines the intelligence, strength, virility, and future of that child. Females seek this out subconsciously and are totally unaware. I've easily attracted women most guys would call dime pieces, but it's just normal to me. I don't get anxious because the power within me makes me very calm, collected, patient, in control. I have sexual discipline. It is by far the most difficult challenge you will ever take on. And if you do, since most men don't, everything else in life is easy compared to not ejaculating.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to agree with that last point. Unironically agree with that last point. Like literally mention okay, some of my graduate work on looking at the impact of sexual arousal on people, right? Like looking into doing some studies for that, right? But also just like anecdotally, like lifetime, right? Like that's sex drive's a really strong drive in me. Like that's a really large portion of drives that impact me. It's probably not as big as like food or water or something like that, but it's like, like every time period that's fucking cycles, that's a strong urge. It changes how I look at people. It changes how I interact with women. It changes how I interact with people in general, right? Like I see people differently. Like if I'm walking down a fucking street and I've just come from having sex, right? I see things differently than I do if it's been a couple of days, right? I see women more, they pop out more, kind of like if I haven't had sex in a while. This is literally for me impactfully. Like, value judgments aside on that, it's kind of a weird fucking thing to say, but it's a little bit out there for that perhaps. But like, so that element rides with me a little bit, like that element of like, or resonates a little bit with me, right? The idea that there is something to be said about that. Now, the rest of it seems like total fucking craziness to me. But like, I do agree
See, it was
that
the first part
fucks
that
with
had
your
me
conceptions.
convinced.
Really?
Of
Yeah.
how
So I don't know. Like,
virile.
I think it's something that's, and I bring it up because I think it's something that's often ignored, right? And who has ever fucking told you that? Have you ever heard anywhere from anyone ever, as a male, like growing in your life, that like, oh, your sex drive is an actual thing. It actually has ways in which it systematically changes your perception, and that this is something that you will need to deal with as a human being for all of your life.
I think everybody like has an inherent understanding of that. It's like the mermaid effect, where it's like if you're like a horny sailor who's been at sea with a bunch of dudes, anything with a pussy is going to be like, oh damn, that's great. Whereas if you're around, you know, as this gentleman would put it, dime pieces all the time, you're not going to be nearly as convinced. And he even included a quote from the great Pratik Koli. The reabsorption of the seminal fluid back into your blood is the best nutrition your body can ever get. So control your lust and don't waste seminal fluid for short-term
I
pleasure.
think he's absorbing the cum that he's not ejaculating.
Kyle, this is coming from the Pratik Koli.
Damn it,
Actually,
Kyle.
I don't know what happens there, Kyle. Like you sound like
Your body just stops making more, just like blood.
Does it?
Yeah, if you don't bleed every day, your body's like, all right, let's just maintain this level. I mean, you know, recycle some blood cells, but no, it's just being held in there.
I thought
Stored.
stored.
Just an Indian guy on Instagram.
Stored.
This isn't even. I thought he was going to be some sort of Dalai Lama type figure. No, just
Am I
just
misremembering this?
So
Doesn't
the
sperm
sperm
have a shelf
cells.
life?
Well, sperm is a very small fraction of semen.
Sure. So you're saying that just the sperm is replaced, you're saying?
Yeah. That's my understanding. And I've done volumes of research.
And I was gonna say, it sounds like you have. And out of curiosity, where do you think the no longer virulent sperm goes?
You pee out.
I would say that we well, I wouldn't know. I've never had any left over.
Sure. I wasn't implying that you had. I didn't mean to insult you as a human being. I understood that you drained that as regularly in this
hourly.
Before we move on from this, I have to read this guy's posts of all of his benefits that he's got.
Oh God. Is it going to read
Which one is it?
Like Marvel.com's list of
on top all
superpowers
time.
for an individual?
Okay.
It's Women's Reality. That's the name of the post. Hello, all. Over the past year, I've been a lurker on both Red Pill and semen retention, I guess, subreddits. I've gleaned a lot of useful information out of both. I can attribute a major shift in clean living in the semen retention forum. There's most certainly a spiritual element in a lot of the text in this subreddit, and I've had some really long streaks, so I do not doubt any of the magic spoken of here. My longest streak was 6 months ago, but I've noticed that usually a lot of the benefits begin at day 20 and slowly grow in power as the streak continues. Most notably, I've seen
Seinfeld episode about this.
Well, that's the contest. But here's his list: a glow to my skin / sexier appearance, more energy, less sleep, increased aggression, willingness to be an asshole when needed, unwillingness to be a doormat, magnetism from both men and women, magical, synchronistic connection between thoughts and reality, a more dreamlike, surreal quality of reality, increased ability to venture into higher spheres of consciousness.
The last one's the best.
I'm not making this
or
up.
DMT.
Oh, did you read the next paragraph? The red pill's also been super useful to me. You lost me.
What is the red pill?
That's a female
It's
hating
like a pickup
philosophy.
artist. It's like pickup artist stuff, right? Where it's like, you got to call them a dumb bitch, and then they'll come crawling back.
I have this idea it's knowing the truth about women. I wonder how they would describe themselves.
Let's see what their number one is. Oh, it's quarantined? Yes, please. I'll pop in and say hi to these guys. There's a lot of people on this subreddit.
Yeah, this doesn't. This is
how to get laid like a warlord. Well, first you need to hop on your horse and storm the neighbor village.
Right, and maybe I'm misunderstanding this, right? But isn't the fact something like you have twice as many female ancestors as you do male ancestors,
Yes.
right? And the idea and the rationale behind it is essentially women on average, it's like half of women on average have one child, and men on average have half. But the way it works out is basically it's 2 to 0 kind of thing.
Yeah,
like that's the way it works out.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to me. Am I?
Yes. Yeah, you're missing it. So okay, so ready. You have twice as many you have twice as many female ancestors as you do male ancestors. And it works this way because basically men, when they do mate and produce offspring, they tend to have two. And it's not all men get to do this. And if you think of apparently the way this works out is essentially roughly half the men have children and half the men have 2 children, half the men have no children, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And women tend to average across time, have averaged 1 per roughly.
Yeah, it's like an absolute dog of a woman can get laid and have a baby, whereas like a 1 out of 10 guy, nobody wants your warlord.
It's not even 1 out of 10, right? Like with numbers like that.
4 out of 10, I guess, whatever. Yeah.
Right, but the point being that's an actual sexual competition is actually something that's relevant there, right? To some degree, it's an actual drive that would make sense to have some impact of that long term from that. If those numbers are right, and I've heard this numbers quoted a couple of times, and maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Isn't something I know outside of like podcasts, so it is totally possible that that's the case. But it's funny when I see things like this because this feels like this to me. These read as like that group of guys that aren't having sex and aren't getting laid and aren't procreating. When I read these things,
in the version of this, these guys would probably agree because they're not willing to spill that magic seed. That's
right. They're powerful now, but not
so powerful.
I can't think of anything that I spend more frivolously. It's probably the thing I value least. The way I treat that stuff, it's just everywhere, anywhere.
Same here. Yeah,
all the time.
Was that what was on the refrigerator?
That was what was in the refrigerator.
It's the mayo jar.
That was the smell. I said it was old baloney, but no.
Here's why society won't tell men about this superpower.
Oh my fucking
what? Every religion of all time has said don't beat off. Like, no, but you guys are the hardcore rebels for not beating your meat. Yeah,
is this why those Catholic priests they dress like wizards? Maybe some of them have actually attained a level of wizardry. Here's a question.
Sure.
If it were true that you did gain powers by not ejaculating,
what type of
what
powers?
Is your next move? The powers he just listed there.
What
all
were they?
Sorts of
clean skin, like really clear skin.
You're gonna get great skin. You're gonna not need to sleep. You're gonna be aggressive. You're not gonna be a doormat. You're gonna be magnetic. You're going to be magically synchronistic between thoughts and reality, and you're going to have a dreamlike, surreal quality of reality. This doesn't mean fucking anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, set all that aside and pick a Marvel superhero.
This last one. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, fire. What was the last one?
I was saying the increased ability to venture into higher spheres of consciousness. Now, if that were a guarantee that I go 3 months retaining all my semen, hoarding the cum for myself, and then I can like start like astral projecting and seeing out my third eye.
Are you sure
I would at least spend like a week on that higher plane until I got bored of it, and then I'd come and be like, well, I've seen it, experienced it. It's probably a boring plane of existence.
You could just
There's
do some drugs and keep coming though. You know what I mean? Like drugs are cheap. Trust me.
That I'm gonna make a post on this subreddit saying that. Why don't you guys just beat off and do drugs?
Yeah, try drugs, meditation, and sex. Those 3 things will cure whatever this is you're doing.
Yeah. No, you're wrong, Filthy. This isn't NoFap. NoFap, I think, according to this post, says you can fuck and come. This is no sperm for your lady. Nothing at all.
I believe with maybe there's some sort of tantric technique for orgasming without ejaculation. Now that if these guys were for real, that's what they'd be all about. No. All right, so that's ejaculating without using manipulation with your hand. What I'm referring to is orgasm without ejaculation.
So these guys are all using dildos on their prostate.
No. Again,
no to who?
Orgasm without ejaculation.
Yeah, I don't know what your memories are for masturbation, but I remember that as a kid, being young enough.
That was before you could produce ejaculation.
Before ejaculation, yeah.
Yes, but I'm talking about as an adult man.
A lot less
I feel like this has become difficult for people to wrap their heads around.
I didn't know that stage existed. Fuck.
Really?
Really?
Sucks. I remember that. I remember being
I got so much beaten and done prior. Before, like
were you pissed? I was pissed when I became old enough that like ejaculate was part of that.
Oh, I still remember the first time. I was like laying in my bed at like 11 or something, like 11 or 12, I don't know. And I was
That
just
was a
doing
good way
my-
to get to sleep.
Yeah, dude, that was the best way. It was like, oh, it's bedtime, and I was like, oh, you bet it's bedtime. Time for me to go play with my dick. And it was, I remember once just doing it in my bed, playing with my dick. I was 11 or 12, and then finished, and I felt all the wetness, and I was like, oh, guess I just peed a little, and then went into the bathroom. It was not pee; it was white and gooky, and thank God I just wiped it off and went back to bed and didn't like walk into my parents' room with just a lot of Spider-Man looking goo.
Mom,
Dying.
I don't know what this is.
I think it's ectoplasm. Are we haunted?
All I know for sure is it's salty.
It tastes like bleach. Yeah, yeah. That was, man. That would be so nice if you could control your orgasms that way. To Kyle's point, where it's like, you know what? I'm just having a beat off, just trying to fall asleep. No cum tonight. And then other times it's like, oh, I'm ready to just release all of my spirituality. You know, it'd be pretty great. Much more convenient.
Yeah. I like
Suffice
calling
to
it
say, I don't.
spirituality. That's a good one.
I'm not lending a lot of credence to what these guys are preaching.
Yeah,
They're probably just ahead of their times.
I would go with no credence whatsoever. Those are some insane people on the internet.
What are you talking about? We have twice as many female ancestors as male ancestors, but half of our male ancestors were fucking wizards.
But gang stalking, I somehow found something about gang stalking again that got me interested in reading their subreddit about gang stalking again. And reminder, gang stalking is when people believe that dozens of people, if not more, hundreds, are following them in similarly colored cars, and they want to either kill them or harm them. And it could be something as simple as someone approaching you in the supermarket and saying, did you notice that how much are those avocados? Are they're $6.99 a pound or $6.65 a pound? It's like, oh, they're using the number 6. That's an evil number. They're trying to steal my energy. They're trying to pin me down. I have to get out of here. And so it's like, it's genuine. Like, I thought it was going to be more entertaining to read through it, but it turns out it's just like a cavalcade of people with clearly having quasi-psychotic episodes, encouraging each other in that, where someone will say like, I saw 5 red trucks today. 5 on my way to the bank. On the way back, I saw 3 more. Also, my neighbor, she stopped me and she said, I got this mail for you. Address on the envelope, 665 Northwest Post Ave, whatever. And it's like all of this to them is like, and another thing, and another thing. And people will comment and respond and be like, better be on edge, man. Like, and it's like, clearly this is, and the only people that go in there to try and fix it are doing it in the most like tone deaf, mean-spirited, like, you guys are all retards and you're fucking morons and you need to go to a psychiatrist because you're mentally ill. And it's like, you're not gonna, they just by starting that conversation, everybody who believes this is already like, that's a perpetrator of this. That's someone that you need to, that person is trying to undercut us, gentlemen. It's trying to undercut us here. Don't believe them. So they're
clearly mentally
more
ill.
real than you think.
They're clearly mentally ill. But look, I always side on the side of caution when I hear something like this, because I know how the internet works. So when I don't believe that there are very, very many people who actually believe the earth is flat, for example.
Yeah.
I think that there are people who are trolling and they're like, oh yeah, it's flat. Oh yeah, here's this study. Let me show you. And they really love both of the reactions that you'll get. They would love it when someone is like, holy shit, man, you're right. They're like, oh, I got another one. But they also love it when people are like, are you insane? And then they spend 30 minutes trying to prove that the world is round. Like, either way, they win. I think there are a lot of people who are like that. And then those are the ones who have like above average intelligence. And then there's all the dummies who are like, holy shit, man, maybe they're right. Maybe we're just on a big sandbox somewhere floating in the nether realm or whatever the fuck they believe. And like the explanations for what the earth actually looks like is always so absurd. They think it looks like the iris of an eye, or it's a big triangle, or it's always something nonsensical.
Or it's like a flat plane that's a circle, but it's the Arctic that's a complete circle around with the ice wall you can't get past. And they never, or at least I haven't done my due diligence, I'll admit, but I've never seen a convincing argument about why every other planet is round. Like, why would we be special?
They don't believe that they are. I think that I've heard both. I've heard them be like, oh no, all the planets are like that. It's just a flat side facing us, and it's like, but they're rotating. But then I've heard them say that it's just us. We're the only one with people on it. Duh, dude.
Yeah, duh, idiot. The one with people on it has to be flat, otherwise you'd fall off. There'd be no Australia.
No, it's just nonsense. And so when I hear the gang stalking thing, that is so absurd that I think that you have like a very small minority of people who have schizophrenia being like egged on by internet trolls.
I think that's probably true to an extent, because there's clearly a bunch of posts here that is just people showing up to bully them. Or even sometimes I've seen people will make a post and be like, I made a post yesterday saying that I was an ex-perpetrator of gang stalking and I laid it all out and all of you retards fell for it. Ha ha ha. I was lying the whole time. And it's like, don't believe his backtracking. His seniors must have called him out on his lapse. And it's like, oh, you're really not helping here, man. You're not helping these people to see through the delusion. It's spooky. I feel bad for people with that level of delusion, because you know that, like, to them, they're not faking. It's 100% real to them. Like, everything makes, it's like if you read about people with paranoid schizophrenia, like, it's not like Hollywood, oh, these people are murderers and killers and they're just gonna snap. And it's like, no, these people are mostly like concerned because the person at the bank spent longer looking at the screen when they gave them their debit card than they usually do, which means, of course, that they're sending a side email to the NSA to report them for purchases they've been making. What purchases? Doesn't matter, because I'm a targeted individual and they're going to come after. And it's like, it's wild. It is wild when you get into these communities.
And they've never got a good explanation.
Don't harass them, just read it.
Like, they've never got a good, like, if they had like a background story about how, like, oh yeah, it's all of the people like born under this astrological sign, like there's a cult and they believe that all the Tauruses are going to be blood sacrifices for when Cthulhu comes back, and so they're keeping track of us. If it was something like that, you'd be like, shit, I'm a Taurus.
Yeah.
like looking out the window, like
that's what it
buy into it a little bit. But they're just like, yeah, there's red cars and the number 6. It's like, well, there's only 10 numbers. No, yeah. There's only 9 numbers, right? Yeah, like whole numbers, obviously. Just, and then there's only so many fucking colors that cars come in.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking for, it's funny that it's red. Like,
there's 10 numbers.
It's not like, oh, all of these cars in British racing green. It's like, no, they go with a common one that, like, tons of trucks are in red for reasons, and like that's just doesn't make sense. Well, obviously, it doesn't make sense
to me at some level, because here's the deal. I fly paramotor, and because of that, and I made these paramotor videos, there's some people in the aviation community that thought either I or my setup was interesting. So planes pass over the house, and then they pass over it like again and again, and they're flying lowish at like 1,000 feet, making multiple passes over my house. And I'm like, does he watch my videos? Why is this like little Cessna or this helicopter going back and forth over my house? It's not crazy. People have sent me pictures or said, Woody, I flew over your house. I was checking it out. And on the other hand, I feel like a guy watching black helicopters saying that they're here to get me.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, most of these people don't even have something flying over them at all.
Right.
And there's a mix of like what flavor the delusion is, I can tell, because there will be disagreements here between the people who think that it's a government, NSA, FBI, CIA psyop, which like is like, okay, well, at least those organizations do a lot of psyops. They're not spying on you though. And the other side, which is like satanic demons, where like, no, don't let them make you believe that these are, this is anything but Satan and evil and demons tracking you in like human form. It is. Oh, I just saw this post. An FBI, CIA type trick to trick me. Let's see what this says. A few years ago, I was active on the... All right, you guys talk for a second. Let me make sure that this isn't stupid.
On a related note, Tucker Carlson did this. And I'm not sure if he's crazy or not. Did you follow this news at all, Kyle? Tucker Carlson saying... Okay, so he announced that I think the NSA, CIA, one of the 3-letter agencies, was reading his mail and spying on him. And they were like, this is crazy. Tucker is not the target of an investigation. Well, that response is a little bit lawyerly, right? They didn't say we didn't do anything he said. They said he's not a target. Later, it comes out that this is what they did. They monitor emails to and from like Russian agents and Russian politicians just through like nosy tracking sort of spying type shit. I don't know how they do it. And some of them were from Tucker Carlson because he was trying to get an interview with Vladimir Putin. He didn't, but like that's what he was working on, which is a reasonable thing for someone in Tucker's position to do.
Yeah.
And then they unmasked him, which is normally when there's an American involved, they keep their identity private. Just say like Vladimir Putin sent an email to person of interest 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they looked into it and they said this was Tucker who was doing it. And I don't know what to make of that.
Aren't they not supposed to do that?
Unmasking?
Yeah.
That's where I'm stuck. So there's a part of me that's like, dude, you know, they're looking into it. They're supposed to monitor this mail, I suppose. And they unmasked you. Stop making a big deal out of it. Then the other side of me is like, what are you, cuck? Like, unmasking is a big deal. They're not supposed to be doing that. You're a citizen. What, you're okay with being spied on? You know, like, so I don't know if what they
I don't
did
care who it is, but if it's
not.
one of those alphabet agencies doing something like unmasking, I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, I don't like that. They don't have enough power. They don't have enough leeway to do whatever the fuck they want. They got to just insult to injury, show like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. And because we have pornography, gay pornography of every politician, nothing's going to happen. Like,
it's like the Incredibles, you know, like, you know, when everybody's super, nobody's super. I feel like at some point, all the politicians should be like, well, I'm not embarrassed. They've got gay porn on all of us. But
that would be funny. They all come out and they're like, guys, all at once now, let's just admit to being pedophiles. They can't vote for they can't vote all of us out.
You know, we're incumbents. We win anyway.
But yeah. So they unmasked Tucker Carlson, even so he wasn't the target of it. They were just monitoring emails to Putin, and but he added like spice to it. This is the thing. Tucker is like, they're doing this and they're trying to take my show in the air. They want to take away my First Amendment rights. They want to lock me up. They want all of that spice was untrue, but it was true that they read his emails and said his name.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought it was somehow it was tied into the CIA's watching me thing. Taylor, was your post worth it?
It was not. It
Okay.
really went off the rails. You keep reading these and you're like, is it gonna get funny? And it's like, oh no, this is a catastrophic life event for this person that they thought they saw, you know, an FBI agent tracking them. And one of the rationales I've seen for why they're targeted is almost narcissistic. And that seems to permeate a lot of people with like paranoid delusions also, where it's like you're so important that these people need to devote inordinate resources to tracking you, go work at Kohl's and then come back and watch fucking Price is Right. And it's about energy. A lot of them say, they'll say like, be wary of contact with people. If someone asks you to do something for them as a favor, they wield power over you now. That is a form of psychic manipulation. Now you're more likely to do something for them in the future. And you've surrendered a bit of power. Now they know that they can get you and work you into the pattern they want. It's like, how have your patterns changed in the last 3 years? It's like, not at all. Okay.
No, man, assistant to the manager at Kohl's.
And it's like, apparently it's like against the rules here to bring up mental illness. Like if you say, literally, like if you say like, you know, this is thinking that someone has implanted bugs into your head and is recording things in your brain is a very common form of paranoid delusion where they think like, you know, literally there's an audio plant in my head. That's why I'm hearing voices. It's not because I have a neurological disorder. It's this plant. And like in the moment, you feel bad for them. You can't help feel bad for them because it's like they believe that as much as like, you know, a Muslim believes in their religion. Like 1,000,000%. Like if you were to put a gun to their head and be like, are you psychotic or is there a fucking plant in your head? They'd be like, there's a plant in my head. Why would I lie if you're going to kill me? Like they really are sold 100% on it.
Well, that probably shouldn't be a subreddit. It sounds like they are reinforcing some people's mental illness, and that could end poorly.
That's how a lot of subreddits go. It's like we're a community, and then it's like, don't come in here with your facts. We're talking about gang stalking. And what are some other good forums on that, like on Reddit, that are just ridiculous and mental illness inducing, or at least encouraging, if not inducing? I'm trying to think.
Women.
Ask Women. I've never been there. What the fuck is on Ask Women?
I was just teasing.
I got it though. I was slow, but I got it.
Ask Women. How do I drive? I guess that would ask.
We wanted to ask. Was it something about what women liked?
Oh,
yeah. We got a question removed from there once.
Yes.
It was a good
we
faith
literally
question.
had a question for women, and they were like, "Can't post this." What are you doing?
Yeah, they're like, you can't ask questions that like refer to women as a generalized group or something. Like I think we wanted to know if women, maybe it was women to find a large amount of ejaculate attractive. I think that might have been it.
Something like that. Yeah,
That might be right.
and it was like, we literally just want to know. Like
Yeah.
we want to ask women a question as men. Like, are we not allowed to do that? No, that is not what Ask Women is about. Oh, whoops.
You think that Ask Women is about asking a monolithic forum that represents women? You couldn't be more wrong.
Turns out we were.
What it's about is making sure that it's exactly curated to what the person that started the forum's, preferences, and they'll remove everything.
No, it's just a circle jerk for them to like pat each other on the pussy all day, and they don't want any men coming in there, or certainly not any cisgendered men.
Yeah. Would
Asking
it be different
questions
if
of
men?
them.
Would it be different if men had to carry and birth children? What?
What would be
Abortion
different?
would be cheap and easy available. Like, what are you talking about?
Was that a proper answer?
No, it's not a proper answer.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
maybe as an example of that, we should look at public funding from tax dollars towards specifically female health issues and specifically male. I wonder what we'll find. We'll probably see that the patriarchy is spending all our money on male health issues, right? Oh, fuck, it's the opposite. It's way more in female-specific things. Sorry, one comment blew you the fuck out, idiot. Dumbass. What a stupid forum.
This is how Taylor spends his nights.
I just yell at myself. I know another thing about your stupid forum that doesn't answer questions.
And we're live.
Well, you've shown before, I think like a few times ago when you came on, you showed a photo of like what your room looked like in the olden days. Where you're like,
man.
yeah, and I would bring chicks here to try and fuck. And it's like there's just an infinite number of empty 2 liters and
I was thinking about that the other day. I legitimately don't know how I still got laid, because women would have to jump over trash to get onto this bed with no sheets on it. It was just a magic.
You know why?
It
They were
burned into my
terrified.
head. Wings of Redemption would proudly say he plays every game on its hardest mode. That's how Blame Truth plays sex, right? Like he's playing this on veteran mode. He can only get laid with the smoothest of lines as they step over trash.
I think there's some weird thing with it, like when you don't give a fuck that much, it's in a weird way it's like attractive, like this guy doesn't care that he's a filthy slob. When girls come over actually and they have to use the bathroom, I'm like, hey, my bathroom's pretty fucked up, water damage, like you're gonna fall through the floor, possibility. And they're like, okay, yeah. And they're like, it's not that bad.
Women like a dangerous bad boy.
Yeah, sure.
Let's just say, baby, you're not the only thing in this house that's extremely wet. My floorboards tenuous. A lot of water soaked through. Yeah,
it is bad. Yeah, I've cleaned up though. I've cleaned up. Yeah,
you showed the new one, and it's infinitely better. Who knew you had that much space in there for walking around?
It's crazy because I'm not necessarily a messy person. Only when I actually start to dislike the mess when it becomes a hassle. Like when I have to jump, do a fucking vertical leap to get into the bed, or when I'm tripping over like dog shit in the floor. That's when I'm like, okay, we got to clean this up. You know, the dishes start smelling like a dead body. I'm like, okay, now it's time. So I'm not traditionally messy. I will clean it. I've seen worse on like neckbeardnests, that subreddit. If you guys know what that is.
Jesus.
I don't know if we may have looked at that, but like,
Jesus.
I mean, waiting until the food on your plates stink.
I don't do that. No, I don't do that. No, I just have like empty cans next to me, you know, maybe a dirty fork or something, but nothing too crazy.
You said it called neckbeardnests.
Neckbeardnests. It makes me feel better about my sometimes, I guess.
Oh my God. This guy's got
disheveledness.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it appears to be empty 12 packs of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yep.
All over.
The monitors too. It's covered.
Yeah.
Is that, I can't tell, is that Pabst Blue Ribbon
Yeah.
on the table? Okay.
Oh, those are probably PB. Oh my God. 10 all time. That's the most beer cans I've ever. This is just a bunch of alcoholics, isn't it?
If you go to all time, it is scary.
That's what I'm at. 10 all time.
Yeah.
Been on it says at the title, been on a 6-month binge, sobered up, and this is my drinking room. Whoa.
Hmm.
Damn, that's sad.
Let's see here.
How can
There
you
was
tell
one-
it number 10? Oh,
If you
found it,
scroll,
yeah.
There's
Yeah, let's-
one. I'm not sure if it's going to pop up in the top, but there's one where there is a literal syringe on a bed with no sheet, and the bed, it has like a hole in it.
Mhm.
And it appears burnt. The bed appears burnt. Hopefully I can find that one, because that one's fucking doozy.
Yeah, I'm looking. This guy, at least it's a bunch of waters.
Yeah, that's
Like
healthy.
you're just really wasteful and
It gets sad when they describe it as a depression nest.
Oh,
Like it
God.
makes me see it through a different lens. Like, oh,
for sure. Like especially the ones with booze all over the place. It's like no one drinking that much is happy. Like someone drinking that much is incredibly depressed.
Oh yeah, for sure. My God, I'm seeing some of these where like mine was never that bad. In my defense, like the 6-month binge post, like that, mine wasn't that bad.
was yours ever like depression related? You think that you were in a bad space?
Maybe. I think it was more so that period of time where I got really fat. It was more so than depression. There were bouts of that, but that was caused by me getting so fat, I think, and not
I think
the other way around.
Could not be in a good space mentally be the root cause of the weight gain?
No, I was trying to gain weight primarily.
Well
I was
done
seeing
then.
I was seeing how fat I could get and how much beer I could drink, and the depression was a bonus on top of that. That was a freebie.
But you were trying to
getting
see
it.
how fat you could get and how much beer you could drink?
Yeah, I do weird things. I get into things really hardcore, and then it's weird things. It's not like right now. I'm into like cryptocurrency, so I've gone down the rabbit hole. I'm trying to, I'm investing and trying to make some bank this year. 2 years ago, I was trying to get as fat as possible.
But why?
I just get bored. I don't know. I just do challenges, like personal challenges.
Yeah.
Last year, I was really trying to get in good shape, lose the weight, get muscles, get nice and lean. So I'm just all over the place. I'm just,
Well, when you were drinking as much beer as you could, you were into probably like sampling and trying a bunch of different ones, and because that was your obsession at the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was into so much beer. I mean, I had an entire beer fridge put in my kitchen, actually, just dedicated just to beer. It was probably packed with like 50 at a time.
That's so many.
And then you get into that pack rat mentality of like, do I have enough beer? You know what I mean? Because what if I get so drunk I can't go get more? So.
Or also, you're probably like, oh, I got 60 beers at home, but this artisan beer, I just have to try. This will be so different than on the beers I have at home. So many of the Reddits people gave me to look into have to do with like supernatural stuff. There's one called dimension jumping. There's a whole forum about it. And it's about people who think that they can leap from their own lives into the life of themselves in an alternate reality under different circumstances.
Ooh.
And
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
We can
good,
hear
good,
you. And one of the techniques that they use to achieve this dimensional jumping is called the 2-cup approach. And so what you do is you take cold water and 2 cups, a couple pieces of paper and a pen, and you write on the piece of paper whatever the status quo in your life is. So like mine would be Taylor owns 0 Bitcoin. And I would tape that to the cup. And then on the other piece of paper, I'd write Taylor owns 1,000 Bitcoin because he got into it in 2011. And then I'd tape that to the other cup. And I fill the initial status quo cup with water. I drink all that water. Or no, I pour that water from the original cup into the new cup and then
Is
drink
this
it
from
out
the
of the new cup.
witchcraft subreddit?
This is from a different
Okay.
and similar one.
All right. Sorry. Go
Also huge groups. And these people are even crazier than the witches because they will say things like, it's like Peter Popoff, kind of like evangelical shit almost, where it's like, you remember those commercials? You'd be like, Petey Popoff, he sold me Dasani water bottle that he blessed, and he told me, he said, pour that all over your bills, and then I did, and then the next day they was gone. Those bills was paid. They was gone. It's like that, except you drink water, and these people are like, I had high. One actual example was like I had high blood pressure, and I was worried about it, and so instead of losing weight and eating better, I wrote on the 2 cups that I wanted my blood pressure to go down, and then I went to the doctor the next day, and I didn't even think that I had leapt dimensions. And then I talked to the doctor, and he said, your blood pressure's down to 120. And he said,
Oh,
and
wait
I
a
said, it was at 155 before. And then my mom and my doctor looked at me puzzled. And I said, look, right here on the blood pressure medicine container. And then I looked, and it said 130 was my starting amount. And so I had leapt into a reality where my blood pressure didn't get as bad.
So what this is a misconstrued point of view of the way that quantum entanglement works, I believe.
They were using silly shit like that on there too, yeah.
No, it's a real thing that's theorized.
Well, which one is it?
It's a real theory that a lot of astrophysicists support, and the idea is that there's even an app that'll do it for you.
What?
Just stick with me here. It's that the idea of making a binary decision creates an alternate reality in which the opposite was chosen.
Are you talking about sliding doors with Gwyneth Paltrow?
No.
Have you ever seen that movie? That's what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I want to sell an app that pretends to do this.
I want to make an app that's just Tinder for witches, warlocks, and Jedis. You can message them and be like, "You're getting very wet."
I want to hear Kyle explain more about.
Yeah,
I'm really struggling. I watched.
I've got a huge dick. You've got a huge dick.
I watched a video about this like last week. I've been watching a lot of stuff about string theory and quantum physics, and trying to understand it as best as I can. But the guy was explaining how this worked. I watched this like seven days ago or something like that. I'm trying to look for exactly what the deal is.
I'm along for the ride on this, Kyle, for sure, because I love to find out. Basically, there's a thing called a long time ago. Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud did
It's
studies
the
on
many worlds interpretation. That's what this is called. It's a interpretation of quantum mechanics that asserts that the universal wave function is objectively real and that there is no wave function collapse. It implies that all possible outcomes of a quantum measurement are physically realized in some world or universe. It's that the answer is both yes and no. It's a bit like Schrodinger's cat.
Mm-hmm. You know what it is? It's Avengers Endgame is what it is. Because when they go back in time, they change different timelines, because they even show the little diagram in the movie where they're basically, if you make a decision, it splits off and it forms its own timeline.
So is that how this guy's would work? One of the top posts on this is, I think I died in 2012 and jumped.
Oh,
The many
into
worlds
a new
interpretation
reality.
implies that there is a very
Yeah.
large, perhaps infinite number of universes in which it is one of many multiverse hypotheses in physics and philosophy. It views time as a many branch tree wherein each possible quantum outcome is realized. This is intended to resolve the correlation paradoxes of quantum theories such as the EPR paradox and the Schrodinger's cat paradox, since every possible outcome of a quantum event exists in its own universe. And I think that the former is describing how particles, when observed, will move one way, and when not observed, will move another.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's the real question is, how do you go from one timeline to the other?
You
other
don't.
than
That's
just drinking
nonsense.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it sounds like you could just drink that cup of water and then you're there. That's it.
Well, I mean,
No,
I
I-
believe
I-
these 15,000 people in this
I
community.
think that I think the
Why-
actual like astrophysicists who are theorizing this are suggesting that by having a choice, a binary choice between the two, that you've created a branch where
Right.
where you didn't choose A, you chose B, and so B has created its own branched off universe.
But what happens if I go from B to A, Kyle? I want to
Yeah,
go
what
from B
happens
to A.
then?
What do you mean?
Let's say I took so I make the B decision, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going down that timeline, but I have a special power or a cup of water, let's say, that can take me back to A, and I can find out what's happening in A, and then choose to stay there or not.
I don't think that's I mean it's
That
just
might be.
I don't think that's the thing.
That might be a real thing. You never know.
You know, the thing I'm describing is a theory, and I think what the thing you're describing is a bunch of nonsense.
It's a movie starring Gwyneth Paltrow called Sliding Doors.
Called Gloop.
I want to ask women about that. Is there an Ask Women subreddit?
It's probably
There's
a bunch
gotta
of
be
men.
an Ask Women
few
subreddit.
women.
Yeah. I would almost guarantee more would not like it than do, from what I've researched.
I've talked to girls, about the birth control thing who didn't want to use the pill, and they were like, "Why don't you just get the vasectomy? You don't want kids anyway." And my answer is because it'll hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want them to cut my balls because I think it'll hurt.
You don't want to risk the giant needled injection right into the middle of your scrotum.
Jesus.
You're gonna have like a dimple there forever.
Another one?
Yeah, a second scrotal dimp.
There'd be a third. I have matching scrotal
Oh.
dimps.
Well, then it's gonna throw your whole feng shui of your nutsack off. You don't want that.
Shit.
Women hate it.
Women hate those scrotal dimps. I'd like to see on the Ask Women subreddit what they think about a man who has a vasectomy.
Yeah, let's go ask men pretending to be women what they think. Oh man, I need advice. I'm gonna go to reddit.com. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Yes.
imagine that.
I think it's where Woody and I go when we need, like, I don't know, advice in a very specific, like,
Oh, if it's specific,
nuanced
if
field.
it's like woodworking, I bet you go on there and some guy's like, "Yep, they just call me the carpenter. I've been a member of this community for 12 years, and what you're gonna need are XYZ 1, 2, 3. You're gonna
or
put it together."
automotive stuff. Like if you've got, like, there are very specific automotive subreddits. Like if the ABS light comes on your 2012 Durango, there's a bunch of Durango dudes over there on our Durango dudes, and they'll be like, "Yo, your ABS too, bro? Oh, no problem."
Well, then probably the more specific the forum gets, the better
Yeah.
it is in answering. But like, I think I'm biased against it because of all the relationship advice stuff we've read on this show,
Mhm.
where it's clearly just not true or made up.
It's
or
like
so over the
Disney,
top.
Disney bullshit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do verified women listen to this show?
Yeah,
Keyword there's verified. You could
Yeah.
ask them.
yeah.
Like a
Um,
PKA female.
very few.
Like 3.
In my circle of friends, there is my girlfriend.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I posted to the Ask Women subreddit, and instantly I was like, this subreddit is bullshit. They have to approve it first, and you can't just post there. A mod has to like your post. All right, bitches.
Lame.
Exactly. My submission's been removed. Graceless generalizations are not permitted. This is what I wrote. Describe women's thoughts on vasectomies. was talking to a couple of friends, and one of them clearly never wants children. Another mentioned if you get a vasectomy, don't mention it to potential girlfriends. He says there's a lizard brain part of them that doesn't like vasectomies. Do you agree? Do women dislike vasectomies? I expected to get some different opinions on the topic. People are not a hive mind. Only speak for yourself. Do not generalize across all people of a gender. Do not ask for mind reading. Do not ask us to defend
women on the subreddit.
Jesus.
Turns out it's all women on the Ask Women subreddit.
It's like ask a cunt, and then if you ask any questions, they don't answer.
All right, boys, you know what to do. Go over there and troll the fuck out of those cunts over at Ask Women, because that's absurd. We literally had a question that we wanted to ask women. There were 4 men here wanting to be informed and educated by a woman's opinion.
That's true.
On a genuine issue that's important to us and potentially our 500,000 listeners out there, right? Like I genuinely want to know. Wow. When Blame Troop said that, I was like, I bet there are women who would kind of be turned off, like, oh, you're not fertile, eh? Like maybe that's a thing. I'd like to know from women. That's why I want to ask women.
How you could be mad at the phrasing of that question. That was totally reasonable.
Yeah,
the way you asked.
I put the question on the screen. If all of our listeners went to Ask Women and reposted the same question, maybe one gets through the filter, hypothetically.
I don't know.
Or just call them cunts.
Well, see, since they didn't take our question, I'm going to assume that all women don't like vasectomies now. That's on them.
Yep.
They answered it.
They've made us stereotype because of their.
We've just gonna have to handle this the RSK way. That's all there is to it.
That is
I'm
ridiculous.
a little upset that happened because, like, I can't think of there's never been a more genuinely like we weren't trying to troll. We were trying to be dicks. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the place to go. We'll go to Ask Women, where like some women will tell us what.
There's 1.8 million subscribers. We would get maybe a couple hundred replies if it was successful, and get a range of opinions.
I genuinely want to know because I'm considering a vasectomy. I don't want children. I'm 100% don't. I don't. I really don't. I'm not going to change my mind about that. I would get the vasectomy. The 2 things that hold me back are, 1, the discomfort. I'm a little worried there might be some sort of complication. Maybe something goes wrong and my balls get infected. Like, what if something crazy happened and I don't know, lose my balls? I don't know. I know that's not going to happen. I know. But look, we're taking some risk. Risk as they have to perform an operation on my testicles. But then,
risks though was like that sometimes they couldn't reverse it. And so like the warning was like, no. I'm saying that for you, that wouldn't apply. Like if they were telling, like, let's say that you were like, you know what, I'm not 100% sold. Maybe I do want kids in the future. The warning sign they'd give you would be, hey, you know what? Usually we can reverse this. Sometimes we can't, but that doesn't enter into the equation for you at all.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
If you got fake balls, I mean, you could get upgrades.
Yes, you could get nudicles.
Right?
Have you seen those?
I don't want to insult your balls now,
drive?
but they are merely stock. There have to be aftermarket balls out there.
There are.
Oh, there are. They're squishy, like they're nudicles that they make for dogs.
No, you would get horse nuts.
If you had my Great Dane's balls, you'd be an impressive specimen.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a Labrador. kind of guy.
I mean, currently maybe, but think about the possibilities.
Upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
What if I got like schnauzer balls, like super tiny ones, just for the lulz? Or if I got 3? If I got 3, just because I thought it looked better.
Ooh, right. Go Total Recall on it.
No, it was actually cheaper to just use ping pong.
We got 3-star Stigas in there. The one on the left.
What if
someone pressed their thumb on it real hard?
What if they were like squeaky toys? Like that would be such a great party trick. If you could just like.
Dude, you could make YouTube videos for the rest of your life, just going to the park and fucking squeaking your balls at dogs walking by
and kids,
and like freaking the fuck out.
So here's a question. Maybe this is an Ask Men. I bet. Hey, if you feel up to it, I know it's a little bit of a hassle. I bet if you post that same question over on Ask Men, it gets right fucking through, and we get some like informed answers. Let's
Yep.
do a little experiment, a little social experiment here.
Oh,
to
I love
prove-
social experiments. There's no parameters.
Look, the parameters are simple.
Call it an experiment.
You copy and pasted the same thing over on Ask Men and Ask Women. Over on Ask Women, you got some like woman-splaining done to you. And over on Ask Men, I bet we get, oh yeah, I had that with my ex-wife, blah, 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 blah. Yes, my friend Billy did the same thing. His girlfriend was totally turned off. Weird, huh? Because she didn't want kids either. We'll get a whole thing.
Or they might tell us
Ridiculous.
to go to Ask Women,
Yeah, they might.
which
Yeah,
we'll tell
I bet a bunch of men will tell us to go ask a bunch of women what they think. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, damn. That's a pretty good point.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, we will probably get a friendly response on the Ask Men one. I can't believe that they shut that down and people said nasty things.
I'm a
Woody
little-
asked it in a very nice way.
In a very nice way.
They didn't even just shut him down. They shut him down and then gave him like
What the
all
f-
these fucking rules.
They woman-splained him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I must have done something wrong.
You have been banned from Reddit.
And from
Ask
Reddit.
Men already moderated my post through an automated thing.
What? They have some sort of dark alliance?
I think they do.
This post has been removed by the moderators of R Ask Men. Moderators have removed posts from feeds for a variety of reasons, including keeping communities safe, civil, and true to their purpose.
All right, we're making a new Reddit called Ask Men Who Aren't Losers.
What the fuck? See, this is why like Reddit is slowly becoming just a real shithole. I don't slowly, but
Yeah, what year are you living in?
I don't get it. Like we literally want information. This would
Yeah.
be like you go on the Durango dudes and you ask about rack and pinion steering, and nobody's gonna auto moderate your shit. They're just gonna send you to fucking Pet Boys and straighten you right out.
Yeah. Well, I, for one, am blown away at their lack of respect for our good and honest question, trying to expand our minds.
Yeah.
What is that Reddit for, if not what we did?
Right.
Asking.
Well, actually,
Pandering.
Like, we didn't start with, like, sup horse, we were nice. Well, I guess it is probably for pandering. That's how a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
our first
for
post should have been "Why are women so great?"
Yeah. Top 100 things about women. Top least favorite things about men.
I went to Ask Women. I'm like, what is this fucking subreddit about? If it's not about like, what do women think about vasectomies? And like one of the top ones right now is, what is your favorite podcast? What podcast do you listen to? And I said, Painkiller already. It's super funny. I love these guys. And I linked my own goddamn channel.
They're gonna click it and it's here us trashing them.
I wish I could timestamp this podcast.
I mean, now your account's going to get banned. You could have been.
Oh no, gone from Ask Women forever.
God, I hate them.
I couldn't care less about access to Ask Women. They've proven
long
to
as
be
you
worthless.
From Nature's Metal and Nature's fucking lit. I'm good
Mm-hmm.
with my Reddit use.
Yeah,
And-
I like those a lot. I don't know. Sometimes it's like a fucking lion pulling a fetus out of a gazelle, though, and I don't need to see that.
It's a water buffalo, and it's pretty cool.
I don't need to see fetuses being pulled out of animals, by other
Post-birth.
animals. I don't need that in my life.
You don't like any of it? You don't think the like two adult animals, one running, one being like attacking and catching it? Like,
No, that's cool.
That's
I
cool,
like,
yeah.
it'll be like a picture of two rams, like hitting heads like super hard, or a crocodile and a lion facing off or something. I saw that the other day. That was fucking cool. Like the lion is like growling at a crocodile, and the crocodile is like growling back, and the finally backs off. It was cool. I just don't like it when it's just like the animal's getting its asshole eaten while it's alive, and it's just laying there like and the lion is just like, I love eating assholes.
I'm with you. I like to see a good fight. Give me a chimp versus a brown
Toddler.
a brown bear, maybe. Give me a tiger versus a polar bear. Give me a nice giraffe versus a cheetah. Like you don't know who's gonna win. Maybe that one.
I know who's going to win.
I
that one. The giraffe is gonna
Really? I
fuck it
picked
up.
cheetahs because they weigh like 70 pounds.
Nah, giraffes like swing those heads, and they've got those prongs, and then they get a lot of like bat swing on that long head.
Talking about animal clips, there's
I didn't
one
listen
really cool.
carefully enough. You both picked giraffe.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might pick
I would
giraffe
pick a
too.
cheetah. I'd probably pick the cheetah because the
cheetahs are
giraffes
very fragile.
really.
Right. Yeah,
That's like a fiberglass sports car.
You can see a clip of a giraffe fucking up lionesses, and it's probably on one of those subreddits where the giraffe is running and the lioness is trying to jump up onto like the front haunch or the front right leg or whatever. Can't quite like get a latch on, and so like the giraffe, as the lion's now falling down, lifts its foot up and like with its pointy giraffe foot stabs down and like jumps off of the lion. And the lion's like borderline dead,
it's
like
called
can hardly
a
walk.
hoove.
It's hooves.
And what was I gonna say? Oh, I think I like it when the aggressor loses. Almost anything, right? If a crocodile's going after a chimp and the chimp somehow wins, I like that.
But then there's other times where it's like, oh, I'm glad the buffalo made it safe. But then you see like, it looks like the hyena pups will be having no dinner tonight. Like, and then it's like, oh well, fuck. Like now other little kids aren't getting it.
Those hyena
You
pups were just gonna grow into hyena assholes.
Yeah, but you're gonna have too many gazelles. Then what? We need hunters out there.
No
thin the
such
herd.
thing as too many gazelles. They're lovely.
No, they're gonna. Well, you know what? I don't know what the consequence of too many gazelles is.
It seems like
Probably-
just really good nature shots of them
Probably
jumping.
happy predators.
Yeah, right.
that's what you actually.
Then you get cheetahs that aren't that good at hunting, but they can.
That's
fight.
what like mountain lions out in the woods are thinking. They're like, God damn it! Everything we could eat gets shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Mountain lions-
laughing at?
I'm just looking for giraffes versus cheetahs right now.
Giraffe lions is out there. I've never seen giraffe versus cheetah.
Yeah, there's one here where there's a newly born giraffe and the cheetahs are trying to get it, but the mom is fighting them off. But it's nothing fun to watch.
All right, go on Ask Women and ask giraffe versus cheetah.
That's not bad, actually.
As if they would know.
Just don't even no context. Just go giraffe or cheetah.
No, you would get auto banned. You have to. You have to have a who, whom, why, describe in the question.
Oh my God! Is the goal to make it so boring to read the rules that you? Let's see. What's even happening over here? Ask women.
Oh, you're going to it. He's doing it. I'm gonna go too.
Now let's try and spell it right.
Ask women. You trying to spell that right?
I accidentally tapped an extra A.
I was like, was it ask or women that was the sticking point?
What do you recommend all couples do before getting married? Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what we did that was really cool? It was called Engagement Encounter. I just realized no one else is married on this. I can't exchange stories, but it was neat. It was a church thing, and I'm not a church guy, but we wanted to get married in a church and it was mandatory. So we're like, all right. And we spent a weekend living at this church separately. And I guess the boys live with the boys and the girls live with the girls. And then the priest was like guiding the couples through these discussions. And Jackie and I had a lot of them before. We were already on the same page with like money and kids and this and that. But there was some other one like argument resolutions. And it was a really, I don't know, they just made us better at living with people. Engagement Encounter. If you get forced to do it, it's not terrible.
Yeah, that sounds positive, actually.
Yeah, it was a pretty good thing. There were some things I didn't like they all got together and decided that God will take care of your finances for you. And someone had an example where they were down to their last dollar. Someone broke their window and they found money in a coat. Proof that God, and I'm like, your finances are fucked. If a broken window's laying you out, then maybe you should not let God handle your finances anymore. Maybe you should be in a spot where you can fix a window all the time if it needs be. They were also big on the pull-out method.
I pulled over in the church one time to take a piss, and I found $5. So there might be something to that theory. I don't know,
dude. Go to church every weekend. Like you think it's a pain in the ass, but they hand you this big plate of money midway through. Make your money hand over fist.
Dude, don't mind if I do. Wow.
Social experiment. experiment.
Thanks so
I'm feeling the
much.
love. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lord.
The plate
Thank you,
gets passed
Lord.
to you. The plate gets passed to you, and you just go praise Jesus. And just
Yeah,
Like the next
right?
plate comes around, you're like, oh no! Wow.
Some of you
Now you can
motherfuckers
keep the
putting
change.
checks in this.
Just
Fucking
throwing
checks,
tearing the
too.
checks up.
All right, I'll figure out how to cash that later. All right.
You know what? I'll go back to church.
It's dope.
I'm coming back every week. I'm gonna quit my job and just. That's why you guys work here. All right.
Kyle, you were right about how silly the questions on this forum are, where I just went to like top, what is it, this month or something.
Yeah.
And it was like pandering the way I almost assumed you were saying, where someone posting, what are some signs that you're burnt out? What are some signs that you're burnt out? And every comment is like they Googled burnt out and they just say it. And then everyone says, oh, I am feeling that. Like, here's like the comments, like loss of interest, don't really care, apathetic. All of those mean the same thing. Tired all the time, irritable, foggy headed. This so much. Also getting mad all the time. Ha, just like me. Next comment. Irritable, apathy, lack of interest. It's the same. It's just every
Dude,
answer. Is
apparently,
equal to-
menstruating is a sign of burning out. All these women are, yeah, that's me. That's me. That's me.
Dude, and this is, you can tell.
That last one
Emotional-
wasn't actually a woman.
Trans. It still identifies.
Oh, okay.
low
Then that
sense of
is the
personal
one.
accomplishment. Oh Lord, I have every warning sign. Come on, like people get tired. You're
Yeah, people get burnt out in general.
feeling overwhelmed. Damn, that's definitely unique.
You know, it's sort of like Facebook. I see all these memes all the time. It's just like a gorilla in a dress, and some girls like me, and I'm like, okay. What makes it relatable is they're wearing a dress. Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand it. It's like anything minorly relatable gets fucking like, oh my god, it's so true. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ronan.
So what do you? I was told to ask or asked to ask
Oh,
what
no.
happened with the subreddit. I was told to ask. This was supposedly going to be an interesting topic. Is this interesting or is this just something we should give a miss?
I've addressed it on the on my Twitch stream a bunch of times, but in short, it goes like this. It was just last week. Is it that current? Yeah. So we had a question about whether or not girls had a bias against guys with vasectomies, right? There was a thought that there was this like sort of lizard brain that we all have where they just instinctively don't like vasectomy guys as much. So I put it on Ask Women. Ask Women didn't like the question, and we kind of like pushed back, like, what is Ask Women for? And the mods instantly like shut down the PKA subreddit. They apologized to Ask Women and demodded me. And I don't know if there's more that I can think of, but like, you know, they just basically, I thought they were kind of cucky, you know, and the subreddit does two things a lot. It rips on the hosts and it predicts the end of our show. And this has been going on for like 5 years. And then the subreddit fussed at the mods for being cucky, and they have instantly like shut down the subreddit so that they wouldn't take criticism anymore. And I thought that was a weak sauce. And opinions seemed divided. Some guys thought that was pretty cool of me, and some guys thought that I'm fussing because I got demodded. I don't know. I don't really care about the subreddit that much, but that's what happened. They opened up the subreddit a day or two later, and I guess it's kind of settled now-ish. So,
Did you ever get any answers to the original question though?
No,
No.
we
We
still have no idea.
And is there any elaboration on why that's not a reasonable question to ask? Was it?
Yeah, there was. It was something like women are not a hive mind that can be treated as a collective group. They all have individual opinions. It's like, well,
Isn't that what
ask
you're
women.
soliciting?
Yeah, but
the
this is a
individual
forum.
opinions of multiple women.
Yeah, it made no sense. It made no sense. I don't know where to go now to like get the answer to that question, because I was genuinely curious. It wasn't some troll or some gag or anything. Like, we were having a discussion about birth control, and I think Taylor asked me, why didn't I just get a vasectomy? And I was like, maybe I will. Like,
I'm
and then
right there.
And then I think maybe our guest, who was the guest?
Blame
last
Truth.
week?
Blame Truth. Yeah.
God, I'm bad at remembering shit. Said,
I feel you.
you know, I think maybe he was the one who was like, maybe women wouldn't like that. And then we
Yeah.
started pondering that whole question.
He put it
No
up as
answer.
a like sort of a thing that I know, right? You know, oh, if you get a vasectomy, keep it on the down low because women find that unattractive. Like that was how it was pitched.
Yeah.
And
I think
somehow
that's-
none of
yeah,
our
that's-
female listeners have stepped up to tell us the answer. Somehow
almost
neither
said
of
that.
them
I
have
almost said,
found
like,
the
you should
time.
Put a Twitter poll out. Then I'm like, there's no fucking female followers of your Twitter accounts. That's not gonna work.
There is no way we
Both
could
of
get a
them.
real answer. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Split 50-50. Or as we like to call it, 1-to-1. It's yeah, my wife's the other one. She didn't mind. She thinks it's a good idea. Of course, she's been trying to pressure me into one for years. So I don't.
There are a
gentlemen.
few girlfriends that watch this with their boyfriends, and I had this suspicion they're having this conversation right now. But I don't know if she's being honest. She might be like, I wouldn't mind. Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I will
My wife
say
seems
all of-
totally unconcerned by the idea of that. I'm like this close to pulling the trigger on that.
So you
Yeah,
also
right?
don't want kids. You're not
Yeah.
a future dad.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
we were talking about drugs, and like on any drug you can find the corresponding like Reddit, and all the biggest enthusiasts of that drug are there. And like it's people talking about like cocaine, like just I mean, they're excited, they're amped up, they love cocaine. There's one
High
it's,
energy, low body fat.
there's one called DPH, and DPH, diphenhydramine, is Benadryl. And apparently if you take a huge dose of Benadryl, like these people are just like filling their entire palm with like 700 milligrams of Benadryl and being like, I'm gonna go to a scary place, boy. And like, and apparently the high off of taking a shit ton of Benadryl is one of the scariest, most dissociative things you can experience. And like all of them will be like some of them will be like, I don't want to be addicted to this. This is the worst drug in the world. And they all have, like you talked about with ayahuasca, like the similar experiences. They have an experience where like they say they take enough Benadryl, enough DPH that they totally dissociate. They're confused. They don't understand who they are or what they are or how to move or the perception of time. They say things look staticky. And all of them, when they take a critical mass amount, talk about seeing the Hat Man. And it's a shadowy man made of static who is just a shadow, and he's always wearing a wide-brimmed hat. And like they'll all be like,
Drifter knows this guy.
Drifter does know this guy, I bet. He knows the Hat Man. But it is, some of these comments are so fucking funny. Like they'll talk about their experience being high in a ton of detail. And someone who's really high on weed, they're like, I watched this movie, it was hilarious, it was great. Someone who was writing about being drunk, oh, I got a little drunk and me and my friends had a grand old time. This guy's like, all right, I took all of them and then I forgot I had taken as many and I took more. And then I started to dissociate and I couldn't feel anything anymore. It felt like I was floating on my couch. And then I got this horrible fear for a couple hours, knowing that there were other people in the room all talking mean about me. And there were all these people in the room screaming at me and telling me I was evil. And then an hour after that, the Hat Man showed up. And it's like, this is awful. This is the least fun sounding drug. And you don't even get a good buzz. You're just terrified for like 5 hours. And then some of these people are like addicted to being scared. And so they were giving tips on how to get even more scared. They're like, you know what you should do? Take about 750 milligrams of Benadryl, then get some DXM, combine that with it, and you're going to see some wild stuff, my friend. And they're like, awesome, I'll try that next time. And it's horrible. I can't imagine. No one on this sub is like, it's so much fun. They're all talking about like, and they post pictures of like people without faces that don't make sense. Like just things that don't make sense. It's very disconcerting. I can't just do regular drugs, you moron.
Just regular drugs.
Just do real drugs. Don't dose yourself on Ben. And apparently it like makes alcohol look like a bitch compared to what Benadryl does to your liver and kidneys at those doses. Like, also it gives you Alzheimer's. And so like it gives you early onset dementia. And so like some of these guys are like
I found 5 searches last night of symptoms of dementia on my phone.
5 searches, I found them.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, don't do Benadryl, kids, unless you're trying to, get rid of allergies. It's a micro dose. Get rid of your allergies. Yeah.
Benadryl and cough syrup, right? I think are 2 over-the-counter things that people will abuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people get real fucked up on the cough syrup. I think I don't think you can buy that like Robitussin. Can you buy that over the counter? You have to be like 21, right?
Right.
I think you have to be an adult to buy that stuff because you can like make meth out of it.
Oh,
I feel like you're talking about Sudafed.
Oh, you're
maybe
right.
that.
Sudafed. Yeah. I don't know. I've never actually taken that.
Oh no,
I don't think
I
so.
keep that around. I went to the doctor for whatever, flu or cold or something, like 2 years ago, and she was great. I've learned this term emotional labor. Are you guys familiar with this?
I think so.
So most broadly, emotional labor is focused on like what moms do, right? But also a nurse does some emotional labor. A doctor does some when I had that strep throat, the doctor looked at it and really ratified. I'm looking for a better term, but like acknowledged my pain. She's like, "Ooh, I bet that hurts." And it's like, "Oh, thank you. I've been suffering so much." And like those words meant almost as much to me as the amoxicillin did. And anyway, so I go to the doctor and she's like, "Yeah, you get this drip and this pain and it hurts to do this." And I'm like, "My gosh, like you're describing my symptoms better than I described them to you." And she's like, "We're going to get you Sudafed, the good shit that you have to, ask for behind the counter." And that's when I learned when Sudafed became illegal and they not illegal, but regulated, and they use your driver's license to make you buy it. They put something else called Sudafed on the shelves that is a bullshit, ineffective counterfeit. So if you think they sell Sudafed and it's out there in the aisles, that's not the Sudafed. No. You got to go back to the pharmacist and be like, "I want the real Sudafed, the stuff you make drugs out of," and then they'll give you the effective stuff.
It's a good pro tip.
Yeah.
Next time I want to get high.
Zach says you need your ID to buy pseudoephedrine. I'm not good at pronouncing new words. And I forget what the other stuff is called that's not what I'm calling real Sudafed. But it has another name that these drug names don't mean anything to me. They're all like fake words.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know if I ever need to make. Is it meth? It is meth, right?
Yeah, it's meth. Yeah, you can.
I thought so.
I don't want any of those scary drugs. Well, I guess what I consider a scary drug might be different than other people. I don't want anything that I definitely don't want to overdose on cough medicine. I know that for sure.
Well, of course not.
Like it sounds awful.
Zach gave us the 2 things. Pseudoephedrine is the real Sudafed. Pseudoephedrine is the fake shit. That had to have done on purpose.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It is easy to fuck that up. It is easy to look at the pseudoephedrine and be like, "Wait, is that the real one? Is it? Which one did Woody say?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to ask for it behind the counter, right? Like if you want the real stuff.
Yeah, and they'll take your driver's license because they regulate how much you can buy. So there's some sort of schedule. It's enough that a normal person won't bump into the height and into the limit.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You'd have to have a real serious cough. Yeah. I don't know. I that's how easy is it to make meth? Like in my head, I'm like, that's like chemistry, but then everything I know is from either Breaking Bad, really. But it seems like the people who do it don't look very bright.
I agree. And I don't know how I've learned too much from Breaking Bad too. Is that percent purity even a thing? Is there better or worse meth? My guess is that you could make great meth if you just cut it less and didn't want to make as much money.
Or maybe my guess is that ingredients to begin with, like more pure stuff. I got a feeling that maybe they settle for something a little more scary because
I'm doing it a different way. I have a feeling that they make great shit and then mix in a bunch of sugar or something so that they can sell twice as much.
I think so. This is my bullshit. I was in Amsterdam a few months ago, and I think I accidentally did meth. And this is what I learned afterwards, that there are some drugs that are pretty complicated and pretty expensive to make. The more complicated and expensive the drug, the more likely it is that you're going to get some other compound that is either mimicking the effect of the drug or it's just way cheaper, and they'll mix it with a drug, they'll cut it with a drug. So we were looking for MDMA, and we got, I don't know if it was meth, but it was some amphetamine, but apparently MDMA is a difficult drug to make. My understanding is that when it comes to like amphetamines, so like methamphetamine, that it's relatively cheap and relatively easy. So I don't know if there's like a percent purity. I think it all comes down to like, you just have to like look at the cost of stuff. So if somebody's trying to sell you a pill and there's like $100 pill, there might be a decent chance that that pill is like fake, or people will like fake stuff to make more money. But when it comes to like a tab of LSD, is like $5 and that lasts you all day. Like there's not much reason to like fake a drug. You're not making much money. So much. That was like the rough guideline. Your mileage may vary with this, but this is more or less what I've heard in terms of like some drugs are pretty easy to make. Amphetamine stuff is like pretty easy. Pharmacies make it. A ton of people can make it. But like more expensive, like designer drugs and stuff can get more complicated. You're more likely to either run into fakes or have people cut it with other stuff to sell more of it, basically.
Okay.
Why slip fentanyl in meth? Like,
I don't know if people do that, do they?
I don't think people do that. They slip fentanyl into like heroin, I think.
Oh, you're right.
Because with opiates, yeah.
My mistake.
For a cheap kick, because I think that like fentanyl is like not only like many times more potent than heroin, but it's also like many times cheaper. Like I can just use a little bit and give some shitty heroin a kick. Is my guess, because it goes back to that whole thing where people are like, oh no, people are gonna put drugs in my Halloween candy, and it's like no. People like their drugs. They're gonna put them in their own mouths and eat their drugs because that's what people do with drugs.
That is right. People do.
I will say though, man, the as much as I talk about drugs, opiates are really, really, really scary. Like there are some class of drugs that I stay away from, but like opiates are like opiates are so scary. You got to be so careful with that. It takes a lot to hurt yourself with certain types of drugs, as much as you shouldn't do them or as harmful as it can be, but like opiates, man, that I just had a friend that OD'd like 2 weeks ago, and she died. She's like 23 that I knew in California. And it was because she was up to the point where she was like doing, I guess, crush bags of like fentanyl, like mixing it a little bit. And to see people that are relatively healthy and young and then can do a drug like that and OD and die, that's really, really scary. That's like
did she look bad on the way towards OD, or did she maintain a pretty normal life?
Outwardly, I don't think you'd ever be able to tell.
Really? You'd have no idea that she
no, absolutely. Oh no, I know this because I didn't even know she did opiates. I had no idea. We'd smoked a couple times, and then my fiance got a message from her mom on Instagram. She's like, hey, just so you know, this person passed away on Friday. We thought it was suicide. I thought she killed herself. And then later on, a few friends reached out, and she just had a bag and mixed a little bit of fentanyl and ended up ODing on it. And it was like, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. I know someone from high school who died from fentanyl and cocaine.
Uh-huh.
And they OD'd on it, and that's all she wrote. Fentanyl is fucking scary. Like you see those pictures where it's like lethal doses of different drugs, and fentanyl, it's like an amount of like, you could sprinkle that on someone's plate 10 times over and they would have no idea. Like it wouldn't shut. It's just nothing. It's spooky.
Fentanyl became, can I get this out? Yeah. The #1 cause of death for adults between 18 and 45.
Yeah.
Fentanyl overdose.
Jesus fuck. That's insane.
It's like in school when you saw the little uraniums and people were like, oh, 1 speck of uranium, if you inhale it, will give you radiation. It was like nobody really is worried about that. But the fentanyl stuff is real and available. Yeah.
It sucks. And the one thing about opiates, it seems to pull in people who can have their shit together, right? Like I don't know how to say it, but like if you're an alcoholic, it doesn't seem to grab so indiscriminately, right? If people are drinking on a regular basis, kind of signing up for alcoholism almost. I wish I had other good examples, but like other bad behaviors, you kind of opt into them. Opiates, it's like your back hurts for 14 days.
Yeah.
And now you're a drug addict who needs more, and it's like this is a guy. This was a certified public accountant, right? The pinnacle of careers, and
he's at the apex.
He managed to get hooked on opiates. If it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times
I've always been really careful.
Is people like they get on those pills, and then the pill supply runs out, and so they steal from their grandparents or something. I know someone in high school that they're still addicted to painkillers, big time now to this day, and he used to steal like hundreds of high dose, like 80 milligram OxyContin from his grandma every single month, and like sell it to people and take them. But he is like from a family with a shit ton of money, and so he's never going to go down the heroin fentanyl route. But most people don't have that money, and so they can't afford OxyContin anymore, and so then they go with heroin or they go with fentanyl because like it's like they still need to get high. They're still physically addicted.
But he might anyway, right? He might be in a crowd that does. Maybe enough opiates and it normalizes the idea of using heroin. Who knows?
Maybe tons of people get. Wasn't it like Rush Limbaugh? He was popping those things like candy for many years.
That's why he made it. Was it related to why he went deaf?
I think it can make you go deaf. I don't know if that's the reason he did. If he did go deaf, then that probably is the reason.
Yeah, no,
it is the reason.
Yeah. I can't imagine for the opiates, but for the closest thing I can think of is MDMA. And I've read, because we've done MDMA quite a few times, probably like less than 15 times. But I've read about like what the opiate high feels like. And I will say that like after doing MDMA, for me, who's a relatively cold and disconnected person, it is an unimaginably like when I'm on MDMA, I'm thinking like, you know what, like if I took enough of this and I die right now, I would be totally okay with that because this is just such an amazing high. If you've never messed with opiates, you are man, fuck, hold on. I'm trying not to romanticize this, but you're touching something that is just otherworldly in terms of feeling. And I don't think people, if you've never felt anything like that before, I can see how people could get hooked.
Yeah.
Is it easy to get laid when the girls are on Molly?
You can, but for a lot of, you have something called meth dick. A lot of times your dick doesn't work. So I've never had sex on that drug before. But some people supposedly can, but my dick is pretty functional and I'm never able to do it on meth or.
So a lot of uppers are.
Yeah. Wait, did I mix meth and MDMA? I think.
Well, MDMA is also an amphetamine. It's methyl. I don't remember what it's saying, but it has a similar effect to methamphetamine, where meth is also you don't get an erection at all, or generally you don't. Your mileage may vary, but yeah, those highs are insane.
What if you mix meth with tadalafil? Let them fight. It's like putting a humidifier and dehumidifier in the same room. Seeing how that goes.
I mean, it might work.
You're not supposed to mix uppers and downers for a reason, but hey, listen, if you want to.
Oh, it's a
vasodilator.
Yeah,
I'm close to that word.
Oh, okay, true. Right.
Dude, if you there's a meth Reddit. You go to that one, you can hear them talking all about their meth dick not working, and they'll be like, "I smoked meth, and then I jacked off for 9 hours with my not working dick."
Oh my god!
It's like this seems horrible.
The worst part is my skin is like a 4.5 hour skin.
Oh. Just trying to get your dick hard for hours.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a it's a anti-diuretic as well. I remember at one point I was standing in front of the toilet feeling I really had to pee for about 2 hours. I just stood there and I was like, okay. And I think me and my family were standing there. I was like, our legs are getting sore. I'm like, but the time will pass so quickly that like you look at the clock and it's like it's 9 o'clock. We chat for a little bit and you look like it's like 12 o'clock. It's like, what the fuck is happening? I don't even know where the time is going. So
we had an ecstasy kingpin on the show, and he said that people would get into cuddle puddles and they'd all just have warm vibes and sort of snuggle together. And that's why I thought that maybe people were getting laid. He never mentioned the meth dick.
It's not really, it's hard to explain, but it's not really like, it's not sexual. It's just very emotional. Like you want to like other people's skin feels really good and like you're hugging somebody and it feels like comforting and emotionally warm or whatever, but it's not really like a sexual, like I want to fuck you. It's more just like, I really want to hug you and tell you all the nice things I can think of about you, basically.
I can't imagine spooning with some girl and not feeling sexual.
Well, try MDMA sometime and you'll get the feeling.
Yeah. All right, touche. All right.
We need to find the drug that blows you away, Woody. You've been underwhelmed by weed. We need to take you through a gauntlet.
Turns out it's crocodile. He loves crocodile.
That shit did not catch on anywhere but Russia. Do you remember those pictures though from like
Oh, yeah.
2011 where like the newest drug, like Vice was doing a story on it,
Yeah.
and it just showed people with like still had flesh on their hand and then like 5 inches of forearm bone and then back to flesh. And it's like there's no way it feels that good to necrotize your forearm.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. I like weed, and acid's awesome. Psychedelics in general seem like a good time, but and opiates are just too scary to fuck with because like whenever I got that codeine cough syrup, I loved it so much. I didn't want anything else ever. It's so good.
Anything else? That's why I'm
so
too afraid to do any opiates, even try it. Like I don't want to know. I don't want to know how great it is.
Yeah.
I'd rather be steering clear of it.
It's like warm love in a bottle that tastes like strawberry kisses.
And it
like
hits you on like the level of your soul. Like you'll feel good in ways that you didn't even know you could feel. It's like an undescribable feeling of, oh God, yeah. Like
How
you
much
see
is a
like
bottle of
on
that shit
cartoons,
worth?
you see people like rolling around on the floor like, oh, and you're like, that's so goofy. It's like, you will. You'll want to. And it'll feel that good.
Man,
I wonder how much a bottle of
making
it
it
is worth
sound
on the
fun.
street. Because I remember like like a big bottle of it with my prescription was like cheap, like $30 or something.
Mhm.
But I think I've heard people like when I got it, somebody was like, "Yo, let me get that. I'll give you $1,500, I think." And I was just like, first of all, this is my goddamn cough syrup that I need. like fuck you. Like, but really, $1,500? I think somebody offered me something like that for my bottle of codeine. I didn't take it obviously because I wanted my fucking cough syrup. But like, I wonder if
Jesus
it's really
Christ.
that valuable.
I mean,
That's what they make lean out of, right?
Yeah. Because that's the codeine you can drink without it. Like, there's no acetaminophen in it, so it's not fucking up your liver, right?
If you say so. I just remember it was codeine in a fucking bottle and it was really good. I think in some places they flavor it so it tastes awful, so it's really hard to abuse. But in Georgia, they make it taste like candy. It's so good.
Have you ever accidentally taken like too much NyQuil when you've been sick?
I've taken like a bunch. Probably, I just felt really spaced out and like the frame rate on my life went down.
Yeah, it was like maybe 5 years ago.
What a good description.
I was feeling like just dog shit. I had the flu or something, and I took like 2 of the cups of NyQuil, and I think like it was like my 5th day of being sick, and I hadn't been sleeping, and I'm like, today you're sleeping, bitch. Like you're gonna be out. And so I took way too much NyQuil, and I remember like it's like a dissociative feeling. Like you don't know where you are, or like your thoughts don't make any sense. You don't make any sense. Like I remember like laying in bed, and I slept, but it was more like a night terror.
Yeah.
Of like I remember I saw like a big spider looking thing. I was laying in my bed, and I like was in the middle of taking too much fucking shit, and I saw like just a fuzzy thing. I guarantee it was just like a fuzz ball that didn't exist, but I saw it up there, and I thought it probably doesn't know where I am. And so I didn't get scared. But it was like the next day I woke up like not feeling rested, feeling really weird, and it was like that was too much NyQuil.
It
haven't
probably
taken any
doesn't
sense.
know where I am.
My thoughts they weren't making sense. Like I knew on some level my thoughts weren't making sense. Like I would get up and like walk into the kitchen and totally forget anything I'd been doing, any thought I had, like walk back, like nothing was being accomplished. It was weird. I hated it.
I saved this as a topic.
Kept track of how many times you nutted per.
Yeah, this isn't me.
This is all yours, Woody?
No, but I would be proud. Jesus, this warrior.
What happened in March? This guy fucking jerked off 2.5 times a day.
This guy tracked how many times he nutted over the course of a year. Very few tolerance days here. He is pretty much every day jerking it, but averaging twice a day.
Is gnarly. He like all right. March 16th, my birthday. This man jerked off 7 times.
Dude, someone in the comments had that same birthday, and he said the same thing. He's like, "You jerked off 7 times on my birthday."
That's Tucker's account.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's me. You're right. That's top comment. I mean,
look at that.
Dude, I'm just now like getting a good look at this data. This is an astounding amount of masturbating.
That's way too many 4-a-days.
Yeah,
it's way too many 3-a-days. That's the real kicker to me.
Honestly, way too many 2-a-days. Guys, like we're looking at like the majority of these All right, well, hold on.
He averages
it's like,
2.
What, 125. Yeah, he averages 2, but like, I'm saying, yeah. Oh my God, he's his dick going.
We should sponsor this guy with lock and load.
You know what's crazy? Not once did he jack off 6 times.
Right?
True.
He was sitting on 6 and said, "Why stay at 6 when I could push the boundary to 7?"
He has
This guy is
3
a fucking-
5s and a 7, but no 6s.
This guy is a fucking loser.
What? This
No,
guy's
but
a
he
champion, and this guy is. I moved to sponsor him for lock and load.
Loser.
Think about how much. All right, here's something. You know, all those like, you've seen those videos. It's like on a spectrum or something where they like have a bunch of strangers come and they all stand on a spectrum. It's like masturbation, and you have like the "I'll never touch my dick" and the like "I jerk off every day" kind of guys. This guy on a spectrum, like he one of those people was like, I stopped masturbating and I freed up all this free time to like better myself. This guy has at minimum 1 hour a day that he spends masturbating. And on these like 7 days, these 4 days, we're talking like 2 hours of free time. He could learn like French or like study day trading, but he's jerking it.
I disagree. There's no way he's spending an hour. This is a master of his craft, clearly. This guy gets 2 a day in 30 minutes, I'm betting.
I bet he is addicted to masturbating and pornography, and so he's probably edging Jim Norton style for hours and hours and hours a day. Think about this: you bust 7 times in a day.
Mm-hmm.
How long does 7 take?
2 hours.
Right, like 5.
You're just like, because you're active. I'm trying to imagine you beating up for the 7th time a day, and you just be like, I'm actively disinterested in this.
Yeah.
I would. It's not even that I'm not enjoying it. I would rather not.
This is the guy that's pissed off that he ran out of porn.
Yeah,
and he's right.
And you know what? You were talking about that spectrum thing where it's like, doesn't touch your dick, always touches his dick. This guy, have you ever seen where they're like, if Susan is the sun and Timothy is the moon, that's the real distance, 200 yards. Isn't that? He would be hundreds of yards past the addict. This guy,
he's a super user.
I feel like you guys are giving him too hard of a time.
What?
And this
Are you
7 being outrageous. When I was in college, Jackie and I had sex 11 times in a day once.
That's sex.
Well, this is sex
That's
too.
a lot of sex. Hold on.
That's too much. I
So
wouldn't
much
like that.
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. About like after 6, you're just not having fun. Now you're just doing it for score.
No,
Sick.
no, I enjoyed all 11. I disagree wholeheartedly.
By the last time, you just withering away. He's consumed you, heart and soul. Yeah. Well, I think, dude, Tucker really hit the nail on the head with the look at how many 3 a days, because that is a true masturbating 3 times in a day. That's a lot.
Normal.
This guy's an adult. This guy is not.
How do you know he's an adult?
I remember when I was 13 being like unlimited fun, like, but not this.
This guy, I know that this guy is no younger than 16 years old because he put together a competent data sheet. All right. And he stuck with it for a full year. That is like, this guy is dedicated to putting this together. There's no way, shape, and form in which, in my mind, this guy is under 18. I'd say if I had to guess, he's 20.
He's between 16 and 21. I'm calling it.
Okay.
And
all right. Has anybody found?
I can look. Let's see. Who posted it?
I'm already looking at his profile, by the way.
Something.
I nutted 7 times on March 17th. It was St. Patty's Day. As a whole, March as a whole was a high average nut month. This is because sudden free time from school Pornhub Premium was free, and it just felt like masturbating.
This dude is a champion. Stop teasing him. Oh, how old are you? Someone replied.
You're 7. He's 17.
17?
Yeah.
Are you guessing, or did you
old.
see it?
Somebody says you're 17 and you have a porn addiction.
No, porn addiction isn't a real thing. He's just really good at watching porn.
Yeah.
All I gotta say, he says he's 17. All I gotta say is this dude. All Oh man, sorry. I'm just reading his like paragraph about him defending that he's not addicted to porn and masturbation.
read his response.
All right. A lot of people say that I need to get help or that I'm addicted to porn and masturbation. I don't believe her that these comments are valid. Although from an outside perspective, I would think the same thing. I rarely ever force myself to masturbate and only do it if I want to and if I can. You can see this in March and October. In March, there was no school, free Pornhub Premium, and I just felt like doing it, so that was my highest average. In October, IRL school started for the first time in 6 months, so I didn't have as much free time to masturbate, and I often didn't just feel like doing it. I'm able to control myself. I think that this is a reason enough to say I don't have an addiction, although I'm not an expert on the subject. This man pointed to October, where he only jacked off 1.25 times a day.
He's a champion. I'm sold. I'm convinced. He's great.
And it's funny that, he described addiction in there.
Yeah,
he was
to
like,
a T.
I only jack off when I want to. I only drink when I want to. I never force myself to drink. It's just that I want to drink every morning at 8 a.m. I'm not forcing myself. I want to do it.
Right.
I want that bump of cocaine after lunch.
I'm in full control. You see, when I had a bunch of family meetings, I only had 1/2 a handle every day. But the days that I didn't have that, I had 2 handles. It
when
was
I
fine.
check off at least 3 times, I start to get shaky. That's not addiction.
Stop the presses. I want this guy's face on the label of Lock and Load. He's the man. And
I guarantee you see his face. He is not the man. That's.
Oh, can I read this? Somebody top comment. You really missed out by not nutting into a bucket for every single nut. OP. Well, I originally planned to nut into a small measuring cup with a lid 10 times every couple of months to get an average nut volume, but that would be most accurate for the whole year. The first time I nutted into the cup, everything went great. I closed the cup and hid it so nobody would see. But then later in the day when I opened it, I almost puked because the air coming out of it stank so much. It was literally 80% as bad as recently deceased animals. Worse than literal shit. Never again.
This guy's great. I love this guy.
I mean, he is a go-getter, but
yes.
God damn. And
Hey, at least he got
out where it's like, oh no, that was St. Patty's Day. It's like, wait, the day you go out with friends generally and do something.
Well, yeah, had extra time to nut.
The day you beat off 7 times in honor of St. Patrick.
he didn't jerk off on Valentine's Day because he said he had dry hands.
All right.
I wish that St. Patrick's Day was followed by something other than a 1.
Yeah, recovery day.
Right? That's his tolerance day. He just jerks off once.
Recovery day.
A huge hangover from beating off 7 times on St. Patrick's Day.
March
He
started
just woke
off
up
slow.
covered in his own cum like a fucking Krispy Kreme donut.
Here it goes. This is ectoplasm. Andy Marsh covered in cum. Brazilian fart porn.
Kyle, is this the man or is this guy awful? Are you up to speed on the topic?
He's awful. Yeah, he's awful. Like you got to calm down with that. This is someone who is spending far too much time at home, and I spend a lot of time at home.
He's 17.
Ooh, yeah. When I was 17,
He's
I did not
occupied 8 hours a day, though, right?
At 17,
Because of
he should really like. I guarantee this guy. Clearly, this guy isn't getting laid. Right? Like there's no can we envision a scenario where this guy is getting laid and jerking off that much?
It hasn't come up because it was a foregone conclusion.
It's a foregone conclusion. And a big part of the reason he's not getting laid is this masturbation. He has no sex drive in between jerking it 3 times a day. He's like, I could go take a shower and I don't know, go to the mall and look for you don't go to a mall, look for a girl, but go to the bar. He's 17. I don't know where 17-year-olds get girls. I know where I get 17-year-old girls, but I don't know where.
Old man. It's such an old. Just head on down to Blockbuster.
Were you guys all having sex at 17?
Yeah.
I was definitely having sex at 17.
Not on a regular basis, for sure.
I don't have sex now, but
it was my main focus.
Back in the day.
It was
my main focus to finger bang or grab some titties or get something going on. Get a ball sucked.
I was almost 18 when I lost my. Like the following month, I turned 18.
I was 16 when I lost my virginity.
Nice. Kyle, I like
but
your
you have
point,
sex now.
Kyle, of like that is the reason he's not getting laid. We talked about like he's clearly addicted to porn, and anytime he's getting horny, the thought of going out and being social and working to get a girl is like to him probably like, oh, why bother? I can just do this and I won't even
You
want
and
to.
Molly? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
My load stat.
Yep. The PKA load stack coming soon.
We got to
By the
sponsor
way,
this guy.
each time I grabbed, that was 3 to 4 pills. So just
Have
to
you
give
been
you an
on
idea.
since we did load stack?
I have
No.
yeah. Oh.
No,
Oh, yeah, you're talking to me. No, what is load stack? Because I think the last time we were on, we talked about cum load volume and how to increase it with like.
That's right. It's been a while.
Or like sunflower, pat, whatever.
That was the impetus of the whole idea. And now we have a product going into production, the PKA load stack.
Kyle wants to take this away.
By the way, you guys, we have just created a new channel on Pornhub where people got to dress their dicks up like Vikings and just fire things.
That's a subreddit. It's called cockplay. No, that's
You've shown me this. It's like penis dressed up as
they dress their penises up. I'll find it.
I'll just Google dressed up penises. I'm sure it'll come up.
Oh, I can't wait to see what comes up with dressed up penises.
Dressed up.
They've got them wearing little cospenis. It's called cospenis.
Oh my god! Well, I'm gonna have to look that up immediately. Cospenis.
Yeah, it's cospenis. They've got their cocks in all these cute little outfits. It's really funny. Sometimes
they're
you
not
can't
even hard, are they?
It varies. Everybody's doing different stuff. Like and various levels of effort go into them. Like this guy's just got big googly eyes on his like pubic area with his dick hard, and it's not even.
This number one guy popular right now, all he did was ruin a perfectly good character.
All he did is stick his dick in the middle of a cake.
Yeah,
what site are you on right now?
That guy needs to go to the doctor. That's a coloration I haven't seen before. That's a white man.
I got you taken care of, bro.
Yeah, thank you, Woody.
That's
just a hard dick with googly eyes. Boo. Don't
scroll down to the disgusting one who's got. You're like, which one? The one who's got like
the plant in his belly button.
The plant in his.
Yeah, that guy needs to hit the gym.
What is that? What is that red bulbous thing over there?
It looks like it's mad at me.
No, he's talking about that growth to the top right. Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Do you see the one dressed like Alf?
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's actually pretty good.
That's a pretty funny one. I like
that. This one's got his wristwatch tied around his cock.
I don't get that.
I think he's just showing off his girth at this point. All I can think is you got little wrists, bro.
Wow. I gotta tell you.
It's got a Patriot helmet on it. That's great.
The Alf one is legit.
Look at the one where they're making it look like the actress.
Without looking, I want you guys to guess how many members in this community.
Oh, all right. Without looking,
750.
Oh, I was gonna go 13,000.
Wait, how many members in the community?
Yeah,
I didn't stop either. I'm gonna say 20,000.
23,000, almost 24,000 members.
Dude, did you see the Quaker Oats one?
I see the Quaker Oats.
I could show this to my stream.
Look at the eggplant one where he's painted his shaft.
Did you see the incredible? Oh, was that eggplant? It was Incredible Hulk to me, but eggplant, I see
eggplant.
This one has nothing to do with even penises dressing up. This is a shot from an old Star Wars movie with C-3PO standing in the desert, and it says, "This heat must be messing with my senses. R2, you're much taller than I remember." And next to him, in place of R2, is just an erect penis photo. There is no effort at making R2. It's just a penis.
The disparity in effort is my favorite part. Here's the guy who just put a tiny sombrero on his penis.
I'm on him now.
Like
this guy just put his dick to the side of a Quaker Oats
Dude,
container.
That was funny.
Dude, the Quaker Oats one is so funny.
The guy who cut out the toucan's beak on the Fruit Loops thing and stuck his dick through it.
Oh my God.
This guy has photoshopped his penis onto Donald Trump's body, standing giving the State of the Union in front of Nancy Pelosi and then for the fucking vice president.
Mike Pence, yeah.
There's one dressed like a pilgrim. I like that one. That top hat.
Oh, some of these people are so out of shape.
Oh no, this guy put leaves in the base of his penis and put a triceratops miniature figure next to it, and then put a big dinosaur mask on his dick, and it says "Welcome to Jurassic Prick."
This guy put a small cowboy hat on his
These
dick and
are-
said,
this is
"Look at
one
me,
of-
I'm Woody."
These are some. This is a hilarious subreddit.
Yeah, it's my. I post on here all the time.
The Squidward.
I'm gonna. If you don't think I'm gonna check in here on Halloween, you're crazy. That's
Yeah, that's the golden hour.
these are amazing.
Dude, this
You're
is a
right.
great
I
one.
just got to the toucan one, and that's great.
When you get down to the 6-pack of eggs and he puts his 2 testicles in the thing, it's outstanding.
Some of them are just so low effort. This is just a penis riding a tiny skateboard.
And then other ones, it's like,
What?
oh my God, how much time did you spend?
This guy did story time with the boys. It's kind of low effort, but he put a pair of googly eyes on his dick, a pair on each testicle, and the dick is clearly reading a book to his 2 children.
Yeah.
See, and this gentleman just has an erection with a face mask on it, and it says "staying safe." That's
This is just
low.
a penis. This man has done nothing. This man. I'm gonna link you to the look. This guy. Oh, okay. I see what he did. You have to. Again, I'm linking a penis. So
This guy's just coming on an English muffin.
This guy is outstanding.
There's not even a costume.
I don't know I don't know the intended use of this picture book this man has, but he's cut it out and he flips the pages and his dick sticks out. It's the monkey's banana, it's the fish hook, it's the space alien's nose, it's a hot dog in a bun. Have you seen?
Yeah,
this guy's great.
I gotta tell you,
this guy's in the middle of coming. Oh, sorry, Josh.
you were going to dress up your dick. What costume? I know what costume I would go for. I think I would go Forrest Gump. Hello, Jenna.
Gump.
like the white suit on the bench.
I'm doing Frankenstein, and he will rise from the dead.
Oh,
Right? Flaccid erect. Bam. Wakes up.
Wakes up.
I mean, I
like
was going to steal an idea from here and just do like a Squidward nose. That'd be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that there are more options after looking at that page than I thought there were going to be.
I usually
Story time with the boys was good.
Yeah.
God. This guy's penis has a straw and it's doing a line of coke.
Oh my God. Go to the number 67 top post.
I'm not doing that.
On page 3. It's the picture where Elliot in E.T. is about to take off, and instead of E.T.'s face, it's the head of a cock. The photo shot into there under the shawl. See, that's E.T. and he says E.T. bone home.
This guy
Oh,
put
man.
this guy put his very large black penis in a hot dog bun and then dressed it with ketchup and mustard.
What do you think the overlap between our subreddit and this is? Probably more than you think.
This subreddit's about to have
100%.
30,000, 40,000 members.
Yeah.
You mean Tony Cock, the dude who just has his dick on a skateboard?
Yeah, I just saw that. I saw Tony Cock. Tony Cock. Oh man, this is.
Yeah,
I love this. This is so funny.
Me too.
Okay, I'm done with this.
I'm so glad we discovered this together because I'm going to be looking at this by myself for too long.
Oh man, and some of these are just. I think that's a Sailor Moon outfit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
And I really appreciate the effort that some of these people went through. I think some of them deserve a little extra credit, but like you can't just put. I think that they should start to maybe edit it out. Like some of the ones that just have glasses on it. We want you to go. Yeah, you know what? I was depressed. I thought I'd see a Princess Leia with the fucking.
Hey, you scroll far enough, you're gonna see everything.
I hope so.
Yeah, they need better moderation over on Kaz penis.
Yeah.
No, I think they're doing a good job.
I'm going top of all time.
On there.
Oh my God, the top of all time is a really high effort Donald Trump.
Really?
Yeah, this thing is outstanding. He's in the Oval Office. They made a desk. He's
Oh
got
my
the
God.
hair.
Oh, he even made his dick.
I have these
more
downloaded
orange.
on my phone. Yeah. It's
What?
a whole, he did. Notice
It's
it
a
says January.
calendar.
It's
Yeah.
a calendar. Yeah.
He has a book that says "I love Putin" on the.
Yeah, I have the full calendar. I send them to people at random.
Holy sh!
Yeah,
This
look
is
at the snowman at the end. Hilarious.
The
Wow,
mer-
go to July.
Is that the mermaid? Let me see. No.
Look,
Oh yeah.
Did you see the one where the guy has his erect penis and he's got like a mean karate face on the head of it, and on his like belly area he has 2 blocks with like a popsicle stick strung across them. His girlfriend pulls his penis down and cocks it and then releases it, and the karate guy snaps the popsicle stick. Like, and the face on the penis.
Where's this posted?
It's the second one, top of all time.
Yeah. Look how determined the face is, and it's got a little like karate bandana.
be the best one, right?
It's just got a popsicle stick.
You better
there.
marry that girl because she was down for this.
The third of all time is funny too. It took me a second to find the dick.
It takes a second to find the dick.
The way his dick face is so angry. You're right.
Yeah.
That's great. What a cool chick.
Oh, I just realized 4th of all time. Is that what his 4th or 5th of all time? Private Dick.
Yep.
He's got
Private
the
Dick.
detective hat on. He's got a overcoat on.
Should have
Dude,
used
this-
a
this
yellow
is-
coat
this
and
top-
Dick
this-
Tracy.
This is number 3 all-time guy. He made some delicious looking corn, made a pecan pie, fucking baked beans, all of it. Mashed potatoes just to stick his dick in a bun and put mustard on it.
If
Listen.
you scroll down a little bit, you see the egg one I was talking about.
I do.
I love that the user is "I touched your sis."
The one from on the top. It's from 3 years ago that says, "This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine." Did you see that?
Yes.
That looks crazy, but I'm like, oh, that dude looks tough.
That guy's got an intense looking cock.
Holy shit! All right.
Oh, the
dick in a leather
snowman one.
jacket.
All right, the snowman one is. Oh well, Jesus.
Here's Peppa Pig as a penis.
The guy
All right,
in the
this-
ugly
this-
sweater competition's pretty good.
I think we may have. I think we got to stop.
Oh yeah.
We have to stop. I wish we could be showing you guys these cocks.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we need some sort of patron level where they get like the X-rated show where they get where they get that 10 or 20 minutes we have to cut out every week of Taylor just going on his racist rants and all the nudity and everything.
I will say that is a page I don't think, and I've thought of some pretty fucked up things. I don't think I ever thought I would see that in my life.
What's that? Cospenis thing?
Your page to cospenis.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
it's
Reddit.
I tweeted out like a couple weeks ago, like, hey, what are some funny Reddits that I can make fun of? And one of them they sent to me was r/theft. And this is not what you think. It's not people reporting thefts or talking about thievery. It is thieves talking about strategies to steal from people. That's literally what it was. I found one today. I was reading through it like unbelievably. Just like they're like, here are 10 tips to make sure you get away from Macy's or whatever the fuck department store they were talking about. And it's like, just don't steal things, you degenerate.
No, but tell me more about the tips, Taylor.
The tips were things like I didn't write any of the tips down. I'll have to make them up. They were no, not make them up. It was things like always go into the changing room before you pull off the tags. Or if you're very skilled, they said you can stand in public, not in public, meaning like in the middle of Macy's, and remove those tags with scissors and cut a little bit of the fabric if you need to. And then other things were like, always make sure that you buy something. You know, you never want to be a thief who doesn't buy anything because that's more suspicious. So buy something. And I saw one story from some fucking whore who was like, yeah, I went into this place and I saw a sweater that I liked, and so I put the sweater on and I bought something and I tried to leave, and loss prevention stopped me, but I cried and wept and said, I'm only 19, I'm about to go to college, and they let me go. And it's like, well, that's not going to teach you any valuable lessons, is it? What you needed is for us to go a little more North Korea on your ass and have those guys give a little more lenience, maybe a little pow, pow, little something to make it, ruminate with you a little more. But regardless, Reddit out there bans communities all the time, and they allow r/theft, which is just a bunch of fucking scumbags talking about how to rob people. So, and they even have this false sense of superiority where they're like, never rob a mom and pop shop. And it's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking degenerates. As if you addicted kleptomaniacs aren't robbing any and everyone you see. And you put on this nice little thief face for the rest of
I don't think it's cool to prejudge these thieves.
Did you see
These
any
people
tips on how to get
scum?
Did you see any tips on how to get more 9-volt batteries out of Walmart?
Yeah, one of them was about batteries, actually, I think, where they were saying just open them and empty them into your pockets, which seemed...
What was the username?
Uncouth. I don't know.
Was it Kyle B. Stealing 101?
I'm a thief douche 21. Yeah. It was KLM 5986.
KLM 5986 be stealing at Reddit. Yeah. I don't know that guy, but I bet he's a good battery thief.
No, but I couldn't believe that Reddit just lets a community of thieves share strategies. And apparently this is in the wake of shoplifting being a subreddit, where you could I only know that because I saw someone on the theft sub refer to an old subreddit that got banned called shoplifting, and it was just sharing tips on how to steal things.
I wonder how these things fly under the radar so much, right? I'm assuming Reddit just doesn't know they're bad, doesn't know what's going on, and that's why they're still having it there.
I would imagine so, maybe.
But
so I have a little bit of a it's a Reddit post that I read the other day, and I saved it. And despite saving it, it got deleted because it was so controversial. So I had to employ one of my friends, DJ. Shout out to DJ DeGerald. Not really sure how to pronounce your name. I'm going to call you DeGerald. And he linked me to this thing called Removed Dit. Removed Edit. It doesn't matter. It's a thing where you have like all of Reddit stockpiled, I guess. So I'm going to read this to you. Okay, I'm on your feedback on this.
Wait, I'm sorry. It logs deleted comments.
Yeah, logs deleted post for sure, and there are comments attached. I'll link it to you after I read it. This is in their I think relationship or something like that. I, a 24-year-old male, I think my girlfriend, a 22-year-old female, and my little sister, a 15-year-old female, had sex with me when I was half passed out. So my girlfriend and I have been together for 4 years, living together the last 2. Last weekend, we were visiting her family for birthday celebrations. And since they live 2 hours from us, and since there would be alcohol consumptions, we spent the night there in my girlfriend's old room. At some point during the evening, I realized I had had too much to drink. Went to bed. My girlfriend helped me up to her room and to bed and said she would come join me later. Then I fell asleep, only to be awoken by my girlfriend sitting on top of me having sex. He had some Blue Chew. It was pitch black in the room, and I wasn't completely awake.
Super cool story so far.
And still really drunk.
That's rape, by the way. He got raped.
He did.
Doesn't count. He's a man. Who cares?
I remember noticing that she felt lighter and smaller than she normally does, but didn't think much of it. Afterwards, I drifted back to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, my girlfriend was next to me in bed, and I told her that was nice drunken sex last night, but she just laughed at me and said I had been out cold when she went to bed and that I must have been dreaming. Now, I know 100% that I did not dream it. And also, you can kind of tell if you had sex that recently. I didn't mention anything more to my girlfriend because I was terrified. Still am. Her little sister is 15. Or it's his little sister. She's turning 15 this year. She was in the house that night. Her room is on the same floor as my girlfriend's room. We drove home later that day, and I haven't said a word to her since. I don't know what to do. I absolutely will not risk my relationship as I love my girlfriend so much, but I'm terrified that this will come out later.
Is that it? He doesn't even ask a question?
He doesn't even know?
He's just laying it out there. This is what happened.
So he thinks that. So he was laying there, just Dick somehow gets to 68%, enough for it to work.
Saying,
and then she's a smaller person is riding him. And then she, it does seem like his sister fucked him.
I don't know. I'm more like, I think he just got really drunk and did dream. All right, let's just hazard a guess that his dick worked. He had some Blue Chew and he ate it. He was force fed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Popped it up. However, yeah, right. Just to be so incoherently out of it that you sort of wake up during sex and then go back to sleep during the same sex. How drunk do you have to be?
I don't think he means asleep so much as maybe there's some memory loss involved, because if you get super crazy blackout drunk, you can remember fragments of it, but the deal is that your brain literally isn't writing.
Did he even smell his dick that morning to confirm?
That's what he said. That's what he said. No, he said you can kind of tell. You can absolutely tell. It's not hard. So I don't think.
No. What he means is when he pissed the next day, it was he had definitely fucked. He has
not just smelled his dick.
Yeah, you just smell the pussy.
How long is your dick that you're just yeah?
What, you can't just get a
little smell. Put your hand down there and then smell your hand and be like, that smells like I had sex last night. It doesn't have to be a stinky vagina, but there is a vagina smell after you fuck.
Yeah,
I have never smelled my dick before. I'm going to be honest, and as proud as I am of my cock, it is not long enough to pull up to my nose and smell after coitus.
No one does that.
Nobody's just put your legs over your head, and then it's right there in your face.
Could you get it?
What I do is I put myself. I stay back and then I just put some of my dick in my mouth and I go. Oh yeah, that tastes like pussy.
That tastes like my sister's pussy. That is familial twat.
I suck my I suck my dick to completion to see if I nut an acceptable load, and if I don't, then I know I had sex.
Yeah,
that's smart.
I would suck it if I could. I have no shame there. I jerk it off already. What we're supposed to have these shame-free hand jobs, but a little head is supposed to be over the line.
I think everybody thinks that, where they're like, if I could suck my own dick, I would. But you're not thinking of the fact that it's gonna be a lot more. It's gonna be way more similar to sucking a dick than it is getting your dick sucked.
Yeah.
No one does that.
Nobody's just put your legs over your head, and then it's right there in your face.
Could you get it?
What I do is I put myself. I stay back and then I just put some of my dick in my mouth and I go. Oh yeah, that tastes like pussy.
That tastes like my sister's pussy. That is familial twat.
I suck my. I suck my dick to completion to see if I nut an acceptable load, and if I don't, then I know I had sex.
Yeah,
that's smart.
I would suck it if I could. I have no shame there. I jerk it off already. What we're supposed to have these shame-free hand jobs, but a little head is supposed to be over the line.
I think everybody thinks that, where they're like, if I could suck my own dick, I would. But you're not thinking of the fact that it's gonna be a lot more. It's gonna be way more similar to sucking a dick than it is getting your dick sucked.
Yeah, you have to suck your dick.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot more work than being like, I'm enjoying
what a
this.
couple of Nancy's you boys are. I guarantee. Let's get a poll rolling out there.
You don't like sucking dick, Tucker?
You suck my dick.
I'll suck all the dicks. I'll suck every dick that I see.
But it'd be bigoted not to.
Yeah, but I'm saying that even if you could do it, let's just say you could do whatever the hell you wanted to do, and you could suck your own dick to your heart's content. I still believe that you would be like, this is just not worth it. Jerk yourself off is it's lazy. It's one-handed. I can do everything else. I can do math while doing it, but sucking my own dick. There's a lot going on in there. I respect the women that can suck good dick.
Are you going to come in your own mouth?
Absolutely. I'm blowing that load all up in there. By the way, if you're out there and you're a fan of this sort of talk, two subreddits you might want to check out, R Autofellatio and R Self Suck. Okay, over on Self Suck, they're more into the tutorial business. They'll teach you.
This has got to be fucking hilarious.
They'll not only teach you. Oh yeah, I can absolutely link. Yeah, let's got this pitch saved right here.
Which one's funnier?
Self Suck has training tips.
That's funnier.
You must be 18. Of course I'm 18. Come on.
Oh, I should have known this would be a lot of pictures of guys sucking their own dicks.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be tutorials.
There are tutorials in the sidebar.
Oh, I should have gone to incognito.
It's like if you go to the
he's just fucking
sucking his own dick. What are you repulsed by?
No, I'm not. I
just one cock.
I just wasn't fucking. I don't know what I expected to open it to. It's just previews of this dude's asshole. He's just.
Oh, if you go to all time on self suck and you go to number 4, a dude is like, "This is my technique," and he's pulled his legs so far back that he's locked them behind his head, and he's pushing forward on his own head down onto his penis.
Oh man, these guys have the moves. Look at this. This one guy, the guy that you were complaining about his butthole. If you scroll down a little, he fingers.
The title is "Hole is Twitching." Is the title?
Oh yeah. See, he's enjoying himself. Well, this is just a picture of his butthole. I don't know why we get this angle.
He is in fact fingering his own asshole.
Well, nothing wrong with that. It's just one finger, you bigot. Okay.
I'm not. I'm just.
I mean,
2,000. There are 2,000 subs here or subscribers here.
2.6
people. So we're 3 of them. Maybe Chiz is 4, right? So there's 8 people in the subreddit
watching right now. Taking notes diligently.
Are women allowed to be featured here is the #1 post. And you know what? I'm going to upvote that. Because
if you've never seen a woman lick her own pussy, then, forget licking their own. I've seen a woman lick her own pussy before.
I got to delete my browsing history.
Now that link I dropped there, you might think, those of you listening in here at NPR Self-Suck segment, you might be wondering, is my penis large enough to suck it?
Now, the big question we're all wondering, is it appropriating gay culture to suck your own dick?
Yes, it is. But we just
We've
don't
got
care.
Ned Anderson.
We receive no government funding, and the faggotry overlords do not command us. So, yes, you can auto-fellate with a smaller than average cock.
I was trying to find like a funny story on here, and the top one on autofellatio is my first success, and I was like, oh, maybe a funny little short story. This is pages of him describing himself sucking his own dick.
Yeah.
Pages of it.
Like, you got to think that it took him longer to write that than it would be to suck his own dick. Like, he wrote this in detail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he's our lead correspondent here at NPR Self-Suck segment.
NPR Self-Suck. This guy's 5'5". Cock length. 6.75 inches and between 5 and 5.5 circumference at the thickest part. Gee. I'm not circumcised.
Ooh.
I'm 5'5" and I'm close to 160. He's 30 years old and still hasn't given up on his dream to suck his own dick. Dude, this is like the fucking. Yeah.
Like he's sitting on Santa's. Yeah, he's like sitting on Santa's lap. It's like, what do you want? Well, I just really want to suck my own dick by 30, but I won't give up.
He like crab walks in there. I can't give up any mobility. I have to do this.
Oh, this dirty bastard
is fucking like. There's so many. You would think that there's only one way to suck your own dick, but there are clearly multiple techniques here. There's not. So if one doesn't work for you, you should try the others.
I find the guys who sit up more aesthetically pleasing, frankly.
And then the legs like
the inversion technique, as it's known.
Yes. But then it's easier to come on your face.
It is. You can get a full load. Yeah, going. Yeah.
Dude, look at these couple paragraphs. How this guy tries to seem like more normal. This is just jumping in. He goes, "I've tried to love drinking my cum. After years of jerking off upside down and into my own face or mouth while trying to suck myself, coming into my mouth, or to a lesser extent onto my face, has been a huge turn-on for a long time. Although it has always been the anticlimactic compromise for a long session of attempting to reach my cock with my own mouth. I've never just finished into my mouth while regularly masturbating. It is only when I'm trying to suck myself. After an hour or so of stretching and breathing hard and getting so worked up and horny that I stopped being grossed out by the idea of shooting it into my mouth and end up wanting it. However, I'm not someone who can ejaculate into a cup, pop it in the fridge, and drink it later and get off on it. That shit freaks me out. And I can't see myself getting to that point. But if you get off on that, then kudos to you."
Yeah.
This guy with a straight face, probably not a straight face, probably looking like he has some spinal problem because of all this stretching, is telling people, I don't see how you could get to the point of wanting to drink your cum out of a cup in the refrigerator.
gatekeeping for coming in your own mouth. Like there's gatekeeping for everything, right?
That's so fucking funny. That's gatekeeping.
I will not degrade myself to sipping not fresh semen out of.
Now, as a 30-year-old man who's been trying to suck his own dick since the Bush administration. Now, I'm no weirdo. When my wife goes out of town, I do an hour of stretching and limbering up before I try and fillet myself, just like the rest of you. But to put cum in a cup in the fridge and drink it?
No.
What do you think I am, a freak?
Let alone those cumsicle freaks, the ones who freeze multiple loads into a condom until it's penis shaped, and then fillet that.
Just fucking use your hand, you maniacs. Just jack off.
I'm just
Can you
thinking,
imagine, like, you know, when you take too long to like jack off and you're trying to get tired and go to bed or something, and you need that extra oomph to get you to fall asleep faster? Like, you want to do that pretty quick. If you take too long doing that, you're like, when you finish, like, what the fuck? I could have got an extra few minutes of sleep if I just knocked this out quicker.
Yeah.
How much regret do you have after an hour of limbering up before every time you need to jack off?
And are you telling me that I'm pretty sure that I've, you know, maybe it's like my old 4chan days or whatever, but like I'm pretty sure that there was multiple instances where people were paralyzed trying to suck their own dick, and then you have to call for help. Because if you think about it, like
that never once happened.
No,
Okay.
that's hilarious. I choose to believe.
Paralysis from sucking own dick.
Paralysis from sucking on. You're like riding
Zero
around,
such
and they're
results.
like, "Wow, are you an astrophysicist too?"
Today I
No.
fucked up. Wait, here we go.
I tried to suck my own penis, and it didn't work out. Yeah.
Today I fucked up by sucking my own dick and having a stroke. 1 year old.
I had no idea I was so good at giving dome.
You stroke yourself into a stroke.
Oh shit! He blew himself into a stroke.
All right, here I'll read this. All right, today I fucked up by sucking my own dick and having a stroke. All right, so there's this other post about this guy getting poisoned, but I've got something better for you, and my girlfriend thinks it's funny. So when I was about 12, I discovered that I'm quite flexible and sometimes would polish my own schlong for the sake of why not? I'm really flexible, so I can give myself a decent blowjob. I've been thinking it can't be healthy for me neck, though, but BJ is good and whatnot. Until this year, as my body decides to age, this guy, where the fuck is he from? Until this year, as my body decides to age, it also decides that I can't handle all those blood pressure issues that I caused myself. If I bend like that, my head feels real heavy and stuff, and I can't hear, so it does wonders for my blood pressure. I started getting issues that would get worse progressively, starting with diplopia and getting the dizziness. That'd be much better if I didn't do it for a while, but I refuse to believe that if I'd abandoned my amazing hobby for the sake of my health, how bad could it get anyways? So last time I did it, I felt dizzy and this headache. And then sometime later, some days, I get this massive headache that's real bad. And when I move my head up and down and stuff, hospitals led to more hospitals, and turned out I had a hemorrhage stroke at the age of 19. Being pretty healthy and not having habits about it could lead to it. I haven't told my doctor about this, but I'll definitely abandon my habits for the sake of saving my brain. I'm paralyzed on one side of my body anyways, so it would be a difficult thing to do. So he stroked himself into paralysis. So
Into
you've
a
gone
stroke.
from 2 hands and a mouth to beat off to just 1 hand.
But he said when he was 12, so he had 7 full years of blowing loads in his mouth. Would you trade half of your body's functionality to nut in your mouth for 7 years?
Yes.
It's like a devil. It's like a monkey's paw wish. Like, I just want to be able to come in a mouth for 7 years.
Yeah. And then you're just, well, I didn't think it through.
It seems like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, now when I come on my face, I can't even feel most of it.
I always come on the dead side. Somehow it's not as humiliating.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't even feel like my face. Dude, I would
do is I take my dead hand and I grasp it with my good one.
firmly grasp it. Yeah. Dude, there's got to be somebody out there with like some kind of numbness on one side, and they do use their dead hand to beat off.
just a little bit numbness. I mean, that's like the whole thing of the stranger is like when you sit on your hand and it goes numb and you do it, right? So
now who had the last laugh? That guy's gonna be giving fucking speeches in 20 years. You know, I used to feel so bad for myself for sucking my dick and losing half of my functionality, but now I realize I'm lucky. Because if I work really hard and I believe in myself, I can still get the tip in.
It won't be worth it until I lose all functionality.
And then he's like, now I just have my handlers maneuver my broken and ruined body to put my penis into my mouth. Oh my God, I would make up that I got attacked or that I was hit by a car or that something happened, because there's no fucking way that I'm telling people that I stroked out because I was trying to suck my own dick. In the war.
Like I just try to think of him like doing like a university tour about the dangers of autofellatio.
He was like about to go onto the stage, and the guy with the fucked up voice is like, tough crowd. And they just
You didn't go wild for stomas, but how about this guy?
Good luck following that one, asshole.
Oh fuck.
Man,
that was great.
Man, these are two of the funniest.
Losers.
Two of the funniest subreddits I've seen. Of course, there are two different ones devoted to sucking your own dick.
Yeah, and they butt heads, I'm sure, with one another, because it's like a Free Folk and Game of Thrones subreddits. They have different avenues, different ways of looking at self-sucking, self-fillating, blowing yourself.
Like, is there like a top shit subreddit, or like weird niche subreddits?
Oh, like really weird shit. I'm sure Chiz could find stuff for us.
Oh yeah,
Chiz?
I've got a ton. Like what subject?
More subjects about people
anything.
sucking their own dicks.
Well, that's about it. Yeah, this is my home court. The odd sexual subreddits. Like what do you want to know about? It just depends.
I just want to know about things that I didn't know about.
Upsetting or interesting? Like there's a whole subreddit on the Amazon sexual position where the man puts his legs behind his head and the woman and his dick goes down, and then the woman humps him. Right? Yeah, she's the Amazon position.
I didn't know that's what it was called.
I'm not flexible enough for that.
Oh, you are. Yeah, you are.
My dick is not flexible for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my legs all the way back here and my
no,
dick
I'm just saying,
pointing
down
almost
that's
straight
that's
out.
Not. It's not. I don't see how that would hurt almost.
I'm picturing it in my head. I should probably look it up and see what we're talking about.
Yeah. Look up the Amazon position. So here, I'll find it.
Kyle, I found a perfect one for you that they linked me today as well. It's called Foreskin Restoration.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say fragile white redditors. Okay, let's see what you got here.
Foreskin Restoration, and then in the sidebar of it, here is a not safe for work. You can't show this one to them, Woody, but it's pictures of guys stretching their dick skin out and showing their progress with getting more dick skin.
No, that's all right.
And, I've said before, I think circumcision is wrong. I don't think it should be done. But come on now, guys. You're stretching your dick skin out that much.
How do they restore their foreskin?
Apparently, they're just stretching their dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, in this, based on the top all time
losers.
of restoring dick, some of these. Go to the top all time of the one I just linked you, the one with the not safe for work photos.
Mm-hmm.
What is this one? Jesus Christ! This guy clearly uses a device with a fuel filter to stretch his dick out.
Stretching his dick skin. Let me see. Yeah, what the hell is that?
That is a fuel filter. I see so many fuel filters. That's what that is.
It's a fuel filter. What's going on the inside there?
I don't know. It's a fuel
Did he just
filter?
pull his dick skin around the head of his dick and suction this on there?
I guess. It appears to be a fuel filter, some sort of vacuum line.
I hate this.
I knew you would. That's why I linked it.
I wouldn't do well as a make sure guy pees in the cup, dude. That's just not your job.
Jesus fucking Christ. I saw a bunch of people protesting circumcision the other day, and they were all wearing pants with white pants with giant blood stains in the crotch.
Oh, they ruined their pants.
Screaming, I want my foreskin back.
Did you read the relationship advice post about the dude who fiance demanded he get a circumcision?
Yeah, I did.
I think we did.
Yeah. Come my way, lady. I don't have a nasty dick like your fucking husband does. And if I did, I'd cut it off for you because you're a queen.
I'd cut my dick skin off for you, queen.
Do you mean just the normal skin that's on your dick?
Yeah, so this guy had an uncircumcised
What's
dick,
normal about that?
a regular born with foreskinned dick, and he's
turtleneck
been with
cock.
this girl for some amount of time. They're engaged. The marriage is coming up, and she issues an ultimatum that he must remove his foreskin and be recovered by the wedding night. That she doesn't want to be married to a person who's uncircumcised.
Okay.
And he goes to relationship advice, and they say to get rid of her. That this is.
Yeah.
I guess she has some pattern of like laying down ultimatums, and things have to be her way or the highway. And he dumped her. So
This seems like based on these
well,
pictures,
good.
of guys tugging on their dick
doesn't-
skin. This
he
looks
doesn't
like
deserve
a
you.
terrible process.
And you deserve a non-disgusting penis in your life.
Kyle, are you asking this woman out right now?
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, Kyle's told me if there are two words to describe his penis, it's not disgusting.
I have a very pretty penis. And
I know, I bet.
You telling me?
Oh, little flub there. You know. Don't even.
A little Freudian slip, huh?
Check out this guy's dick. Most recent link. Did his foreskin restoration turn him into a micro penis?
Oh, it's tiny.
Oh, it was always tiny.
Does he have an erection on the right?
What a loser.
How's it standing up like that if he doesn't have a boner?
No, you're looking down on it, so it's kind of just swung to the left a little.
They're talking about weighting their penis for 8 hours a day or something like that.
People do that.
Who has 8 hours a day?
They
Other
pierce
than
their
you
fore-
two.
Yeah. Why is that weird?
They pierce their foreskin. They pierce their foreskin and then tie weights to it. So that and then basically the weights just hang off and then basically drag it out all day.
Doctor recommended.
What the fuck is wrong with us?
This seems like it takes 8 hours a day, and this guy says he's been doing it for 15 months. Do you have a job? Like,
He probably does it at work.
Do
he probably does it at work, right?
Marcus,
One of
we've
these,
all
if you go to-
noticed the weights, and frankly, the whole IT department is upset.
He's just walking like this into every meeting with just his dick hanging down, all his dick skin stretched out. Dude, if you go to 15 all time, you see a guy physically stretching his dick skin. This looks like just a terrible process.
Yeah,
Remember, there was an
It
episode
doesn't
of
seem
Friends.
worthwhile.
There was an episode of Friends where Joey was a struggling actor, and he was trying out for this role where he was going to have to be fully nude, but it was a period piece, so the guy would be uncircumcised, and so they were rigging up foreskin using lunch meat in the kitchen, like trying. So they're like taking ham and wrapping it around his dick, and so he gets into the audition and he strips down naked and he's hands on his hips. And he's like. He delivers the lines beautifully, eloquently, and all of a sudden you hear flop. the like roly poly of ham falls off his dick, and like
slice.
The three like people watching his audition go and like follow it to the floor with their eyes, and they're just like, ah.
You have to go like,
I think you might have.
Yeah. So I'm glad someone linked that one because I knew as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Kyle will hate this.
Yeah, it's fucking like, get out of here. If I weren't circumcised, I would do it as an adult. Can't hurt that much.
Dude, I wouldn't do it as an adult. That sounds awful. Getting your
I've
dick
heard,
an adult.
I've heard that it hurts a lot when you're an adult. That's what I've heard.
I've heard root canals hurt a lot. Guys, there's some pussies out there.
That's true. Yeah, you got me there. You got me there. All right. But but here's the thing though, because I don't have foreskin either. I wish that I did. Or how about this? Hold on. How about if I go from one timeline to the other?
Ooh.
Right?
The
When I
AB
start with a
timeline.
baby, and then I get to find out what sex feels like on the B timeline with foreskin, and then the A timeline. Then that way I can test it both with that cup.
I don't want.
a
I
good
mean,
idea.
like, I don't want it to feel any better than it already does. Like, Woody's talked about this before. How like he's recommended condoms to people over and over. He's like, hey, you'll last a little longer,
Especially
right?
young people, right? You know, if you're
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
Don't put that out there into the zeitgeist. We're strongly anti-condom on this show.
You listen to Taylor all you want.
Unless you want to ruin your sex.
I've seen many men fall prey to this Taylorism that you're seeing work its dark magic on here. I'm not convinced he hasn't been cursed. All right. I have seen young, strong, virulent men who went out and found different women every week if they wanted to, or long-term girlfriends if they wanted to, had all the free time to travel the country, be out when they wanted to be.
We're talking
out,
about
do
Jeremy,
what they
aren't we?
wanted to be. Jeremy doesn't have time to do any of this shit. Jeremy's a rotten mouth fucking hillbilly.
He's a strong, virulent man.
I'm talking about people like Scott, for example, or a number of people that I grew up with, went to high school with, like a lot of the good-looking, fit guys, and it's like, oh, I think I'll go get married at 19 years old. That's smart, isn't it? Hey, I'm barely even have a fully developed brain. Let me just ruin my whole life. Trust me, I'm almost 34 years old here. I have made the right decision in this regard. All right, you do not. I am responsible for nothing.
I was looking at weird shit on Reddit today, trying to find something, and there's a Reddit called Sprained Ankles, and most of it is people who sprain their ankles, and they're like, "Is this swollen too much? Should I go to the doctor? This doesn't look good, does it?" But then I guess there's some people here who get off on seeing people break or sprain ankles because it turns them on. There's like, this one is like what looks to be like a young girl just doing like innocent dancing, like gymnastic shit, and she breaks her ankle, and the guy posted it saying, "Girl breaks ankle in gymnastics. The snap is just so arousing."
Oh my God.
And the guy says that one of the commenters goes, "Nice. I'm more into the pain after the fact and watching them get treatment. So this one ended too soon for me, but good find." And this is this is so beyond fucking weird that this is weirder to me than people who like to drink cum in public or something, because at least that has like a sexual fluid with it. This is just enjoying watching sometimes children break their fucking ankles. Wow. So I don't know if this one has legs. She certainly doesn't. But
I hear you. I'm a little torn, actually. On one hand, I find it to be sort of weird. On the other hand, like, PKA is the last place to kink shame anybody.
I don't know. I just imagine this guy's out like digging tiny little gopher holes in the women's soccer field and stuff, and just
yeah.
Come on. Oh yeah. She's down.
Just releasing moles late at night into parks. They call him the Mole Man. What he does is he sneaks into parks, leaving moles behind. Don't let your children run around on their own, or they may end up in one of his videos. Like,
what are you doing here digging holes in the park?
Yeah. I can't get enough of kids breaking their ankles.
Breaking their ankle. This is a twisted, like, sadistic kind of thing here, I guess.
Yeah. And there's nothing arousing about that snap. You just
Did it make a sound? I watched it.
Oh yeah. Like,
I
turned it down quite a bit because I hate that bone snapping sound, and it's a bad break.
Are we gonna watch it together?
Yeah, we can watch it together.
Are we? I don't know why this one's harder to watch than like the ice cream.
Dude,
bus
bone
one.
breaking stuff is hard.
Bone breaking is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
all right, I'm gonna not watch it on full volume, but I'm ready.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, I'm gonna add a little volume, I guess. You guys ready? Set, play.
Hi guys, this is my friend Mag. She's about to do her first round off ever.
No, she's not.
And here she goes. Yeah.
I'm already scared.
Oh
my God!
Are you? What happened? No, seriously. Oh my God! Holy.
That's horrible. And some degenerate commented on that ended too soon because he's more into the pain after the fact. He's
And
like,
the
well, this is
treatment.
all well
Yeah,
and
he
good,
wanted
but
to
I want
see-
the treatment. I like to
Yeah.
watch the suffering more extended. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, what's wrong with you?
yeah, he wanted to see some pain.
when I broke my ankle.
I feel bad about making the kink shame joke because that's awful.
Yeah,
That's
this
pretty
is
bad.
a terrible kink to have.
What's the worst kink to have?
This one.
I know that there are people who are like into like their partner being like essentially disabled or enabled, like
right.
disabled, like to the point where like even if there's nothing wrong with their like girlfriend, they want to like wrap both their legs up in like casts.
And you know people like this, or you've heard of it?
What?
You said you know people as if they exist in your world, but no, like you know them. You don't know them. You just heard about it on the internet.
I've known people who knew people who were into this.
Okay.
And wanted them to
1
do
degree
these
or
things.
2 degrees of separation.
Yeah. They were
they
like,
wanted- I see.
this guy wanted to wrap me up in plaster of Paris and gauze and make me like walk around like Tiny Tim with like around the house staggering around and have him like put a sippy cup in my mouth and like maybe put me in a full body cast eventually. And I was like, and then what? Like fuck your mouth or something? No, just like take care of me.
I think the worst kinks are the ones that can't be satisfied, right? At least that one, he may find Mrs. Right, some broken woman,
some really damaged woman who had a car accident.
But if you're really, really into like fucking, what is the horse with the man's upper body called?
Centaur.
Centaur. If you're into like centaurs, then you're fucked. You just die and never get one.
I mean, furries solved that problem. They figured out that you can just dress up as mascots and fuck one another.
One half at a time.
There you go.
You have the centaur. You get the guy, and then you get the horse somewhere in Oregon, and have it remove your innards. And
no, I pictured
end
there's
up
2
dying
guys in
a
the horse
hospital.
costume, and the guy in front is like, "Well, this is boring."
Oh,
I just sit here while you get fucked in the ass.
How's
Why
it
am
going back there? Shut up! You're supposed to be whinnying.
ruining the whole thing.
He's got a human head, though. Why is he doing that? He's just bilingual in Kyle's dream. He speaks perfect English and whatever the fuck that is.
if you have to be a furry, which animal do you pick?
Oh, I think those foxes are kind of hot, and I think the fox.
I was
Something
gonna
about
say
the fox
fox.
is the hottest animal to me. I mean, we even say like, "Oh, she's a fox."
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they goofy versions of the animal though? Those
Sometimes.
furries. It's not like, oh, that looks like a real fox kind of walking around. It's like has googly eyes. It's like, "Oh," like the Carfax fox or something.
There's a human penis hanging out the front.
What if it looked like an enormous taxidermied fox? It'd be the most disturbing. Oh God!
Not
That's not my
sexy.
kink.
That's not sexy.
I wonder if I'd be a female furry. Like just think, in a video game, I always seem to choose female characters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm alone in this.
I do too, especially in third-person games because you're looking at her ass from behind the whole time.
They're usually hot.
So I was going to talk about the most disgusting subreddit I'd ever found, but they
what is it?
They privated it, and now you have to be invited
Oh,
to
no.
reddit.com/r rat fucking.
Is it rats fucking or is it people fucking rats?
What do you two think? Do you
I
think
think
rats
I think
fucking?
that
last
because that's
one,
what's
yeah.
fucked up.
It's people who are into rats and
No.
fucking
How do you put your penis in a rat?
from the back.
No.
But I mean, it's a rat. So you're murdering it with your dick.
I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but compared to a rat, I'm kind of hung.
Yeah, mine won't fit.
Oh,
I don't think that. Well, I mean, it is a rat. If I wanted to stick my fucking forearm into a rat, I could. I would just stretch its poor little dead, now ruined body
Just
over there.
turn it
It's
into
gonna
a
die.
rat condom.
Yeah,
How did you find this subreddit? by
I'll
the
tell
way?
you because I have to explain myself. I
absolutely
want to
do.
say I was on the Tiger King subreddit. I was somewhere and the moderator had like locked the thread and they'd be like, "Hey, there will be no more talk of sexual contact with animals in any way. That shit is not funny and it is not allowed here." And I was like,
It's kind of funny.
What happened below? Scroll. and people were linking rat and some guy was like defending. He's like, "Hey, come on, if the dog licks a dick accidentally, it's real funny though, right?" And everybody's like, "No, you sick fuck. No. No, not even accidental dog cock licking is permissible here around these parts. And then someone links, today I found out this is a thing, like our rat fucking, and I click it and I go, and I go top all. I want to see what this place is about.
What a cock tease you are. Now I can't even see.
There was one guy holding a rat up, showing off its massive testicles. Like it was all sorts of sexualization of rats. There was one part, and the guy was like, "My reaction when I see a hung mousy boy," and it was a GIF. And I swear to God, I thought it was a guy aggressively like working his nipple, his own nipple. Like I was like, "What am I what?"
Like doing what? Just like rubbing his
oh yeah,
like milking
pinching
his
it,
nipple?
like milking his biddy. He's squeezing his biddy. Ooh, biddy. Yes, Bono needs the biddy. I grew strong on biddy. So let me finish. So he's milking his biddy, and I'm just like staring at it, like I'm confused about the anatomical layout of what I'm even looking at. I don't recognize this body part, and then it starts ejaculating.
It was jacking off a rat dick.
It was his own micro penis. I was watching him masturbate by pinching. It was uncut, and he was just going like this on his biddy. He was like this was masturbation to him. It was like pinch, 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 and then he starts, and I'm just like, oh God, oh God, oh, this is worse than the rat fucking. No,
But where was the rat?
There was no rat in this. This was his reaction to like looking at rat porn. This was his post. But then I read some more, and apparently what some people will do is literally like fuck a rat to death or fuck a dead rat, essentially impaling an entire rat with their engorged phallus.
There is no way to have sex with a rat without killing it.
I would agree with that.
I'm not sure I'm willing to sit here idly while Kyle insults both rack fucking and tiny penises. Some of this is hitting close to home, Kyle.
That must have looked. So there was no up and down movement.
I'll let you guess which one to the audience.
He's just pinching.
Wait, that's not how you do it? How do you guys do it?
We'll use your whole palm, Captain Porn Star.
So I'm sorry, the vomiting dog. I've got to bump it out of the.
I
I don't have your copy paste skills.
You don't.
No,
I'm just typing the word over and over. Yeah.
Woody's the fastest copy paster in the West on the bump. Yeah, dude,
and it's gone.
So man, how does
Bombay
riddle me this, Kyle? Is this an ironic community? Like, are they taking fucked up images they find online
posts.
and then?
Dude, I looked at 8 different posts from top all, and I came to the conclusion these are people who have sexual feelings about rats, and it was the most horrific.
Hey,
I've seen some fucked up shit. I've seen some fucked up shit on Reddit.
Kyle, you turned me onto a forum a long time ago, but you probably remember what it's called. It's like all these plastic surgeries with horrible outcomes. Like they're just totally ruined.
Botched
surgeries. Botched surgeries. I need to look at that again because it's such an unrealistic way to look at plastic surgery, to literally seek out and go like badplasticsurgery.com. But oh my God, how could you see someone else's ass giving into necrosis and then be like, no, yeah, I do want to save the 11 grand. I'm gonna pursue this.
Well,
have you seen those pictures where the flesh is rotting?
But I didn't associate it with like other country and less expensive medical care. Like,
oh, I definitely do. I feel like
You
the
might be
U.S. probably
right.
isn't doing that, or maybe they just keep it under wraps better. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen enough Hollywood celebrities to know that bad plastic surgery happens in America.
Yeah, but like the bad ones in America that you can see is like that lady's lips look so unnatural and terrible, and how could she have done that to herself? She looks ridiculous. The ones you see from like Brazil is like this woman is losing her lower left leg, like because of a blood infection or some shit. Disgusting. If you guys were to get one procedure, what would you do?
I want a third arm. I mean, I feel like I could get,
Any
and that's why you
procedure
have
that
to go to
doesn't
another
exist,
country. No, they're going to
Where do you
attach
get the
my
third
rib
one,
cage
murderer?
to my rib cage like Goro, And now that I have a third arm, I'll
Goro
be able
has
to
4
work
arms.
with
You're not
my
even going
new
all the
arm.
way.
Yeah, pussy.
I can't afford it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. They're half a
Give me a
million
half
each.
a Goro, Doc.
I'm leveraged. All right. With the third arm, though, I'll be able to earn the fourth arm and go full Goro.
Over time, yeah. Parlay it. Okay, two non-functional shitty arms. I
They
think.
work. They work.
Skin flaps.
They absolutely work. I'll be able to do. Oh my god! Imagine the double dumbbell rows. Holy shit! I'll
You'd
look
be
like
huge.
You'll be the talk of the gym.
You'd need to.
You could just get
All right,
fake arms caught with like hinges. Sew some new sleeves on your shirt, like the Jackson 5 guys.
Anchor
Like
arms.
a spider Halloween costume.
Yeah. It's a whole new workout I do. It's called the Goro workout. You lift twice as much weight, and it looks awesome.
And they get mad if you do it at the mall. Like,
I need 2 spotters for this bench. Okay, how much is on the lower bench?
you're spending twice as much on gym equipment.
I've always wanted to get hair plugs on my penis. Do you
The
think they
penis
do
itself?
that?
Like on the
just
head of it.
cover it. So like the whole thing looks like Cousin
Just-
It from the Addams Family.
This is
You
a
could.
great idea.
Yeah, you absolutely
like
could.
that.
Have you seen those people like maybe in China or probably India? India has a lot of it. Like with that disease where they grow hair out of everywhere.
Yes,
They're
I
called
have
like
seen
wolf
that.
people, and they're like their nose grows hair, their eyelids grow hair. I bet they've got dick hair. So it's
Are they called
possible.
wolf people? Taylor?
That is what they're.
they call
That is the preferred nomenclature. Yes. They don't have a lobby, so it doesn't matter. there's like 6 of them, and they're just howling somewhere in the woods.
What would you guys get?
I'd get that Chinese surgery to get like 7 inches taller, where they shatter my legs.
Oh, dude, I know.
I want to be
I know a
6'7".
Yeah, this guy who
Long,
called into my show
chins.
did that. He went to India, and he was there for like 8 months, or maybe it wasn't that long. I don't know if it was 8 weeks or months, but he got like 3 inches on his height, and now I see it on Instagram all the time. These before and afters of doctors. I assume in L.A. They put this huge screw, this like long metal rod that has a screw in it, and it always separates all day with some kind of magnetic system. Like they crank it every day to grow your bones. It's really fucking wild, man.
It seems painful.
Terrible.
Yeah, it seems like it's like medieval torture.
I would want a surgery that's a little easier to recover from than the growth surgery.
Yeah.
And so the first thing that pops into my head, liposuction. Like, oh man, fucking carve out those abs. It's so hard to get the kind of abs that I desire. And like every so often I'll visit like adjacent to really ripped. Like my abs now are what I call emerging abs. Like they're like,
you got abs, man.
I have abs, but they could be squarer, right? And sometimes when I'm almost there, like you know, they're really showing through. But to get like that bottom part, the last 2 of the 6-pack, I have like a solid 4-pack and then a 5th one that's combined by the belly button. But the thing is, liposurgery is incredibly painful to recover from. I think it's less painful to lose that last bit of body fat than it is to have the surgery. My wife had facial cosmetic surgery, like, I don't know, September or something like that. And one of the things she did, she had fat grafted into her face. So it turns out as you age, you get like skinnier below your eyes, and to make yourself more youthful, they put that back. All right, cool. Well, the donor site was like her hips or something, and that was the worst part of the recovery. Like that hurt her for 8 weeks later, something like that.
How did it turn out? She got fat from her hips put under her eyes?
Yeah, it turned out great. Yeah.
Wow.
It looks good. Every so often I look at her, I'm like, you look really pretty. Like it catches my attention. Yeah.
I hope you say that out loud.
I do, yeah. And
I'd like to get some cheek fat removal. I could be a donor. Like I got big old
everyone,
chubby
every
cheek.
woman on earth, like Genghis Khan. They've all got Taylor's cheek fat in them.
Yeah, and I just keep replenishing more with my diet. It's an infinite supply.